guess so.
Hold on.
Coming to you from North Philadelphia on the splendid Saturday afternoon. Hello, everybody. We've got some women's football today between the Tri-State Warriors and the hometown Philly Phantoms. Gonna be a nice one today. I'm Tom Wilkins, and yes, that's my son Dan Wilkins next to me. And Dan, it looks like we're gonna have a pretty good one on our hands considering the Phantoms. It's their season opener today.
Yeah, they're the last team in WFA Division II to open their season. Tri-State coming off of a big win, a shutout win versus the Maine Mayhems last week. Tri-State looking to go up 2-0. Meanwhile, the Philadelphia Phantoms, in this kind of new era of WFA, they're going to try to get their first win of 2026.
And let's also consider, as you mentioned, the Tri-State Warriors, a very splendid season opener. Their quarterback threw 3 touchdowns at the very beginning, but these two teams will be playing each other today, and then they meet again on May 30th. So they'll be seeing a lot of each other over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, the best way that the Philadelphia side described it was this is a away game in their home city. Their normal home field is Northeast High School in Philadelphia, so they're really changing it up today for a Tri-State Warriors team that has been based out of New Brunswick since they opened in 2021. I'm very intrigued to see how these two face it out today.
And that's why you will see the Tri-State Warriors on the home sideline. So it will be just a couple of minutes till we get ourselves going. Actually, let's go up at the standings. Of course, we mentioned the Tri-State Warriors had a shutout win over the Maine Mayhem. Say that 3 times fast in their first week, and winning 34-0 on their opener. Here they've got a Philly Phantom team that they've been around. They're in an era of a little bit of a transition, but you know what? A lot of these players have been loyal to that team, and that may be an advantage to them.
Yeah, well, with the standings at that, you've got 3 teams in the win column already. You've got Harrisburg Havoc, and then the Baltimore Nighthawks, who lost but made the WFA Division II championship game last year. So the Nighthawks, they're already looking to set themselves up as a contender this year. Meanwhile, the Phantoms, they have not recorded a game yet. Buffalo and Maine are the only other 2 teams in the lost column.
Definitely going to be some very competitive stuff. As we take a look at the schedules, you'll see, of course, we mentioned today's game would be Warriors and Phantoms. And again, they meet again on May 30th. But as you can see with the Warriors, they've got some work ahead of them, of course, prior to that.
Well, for Tri-State, they're in a little bit of a different position. They've got 2 of their last 3 weeks at home. They're going to be, as we said, versus Philadelphia today, but they're on the road versus Carolina next week, and then May the 30th versus Philadelphia again. They close out their regular season on June the 6th versus Harrisburg, and on the 13th versus Buffalo. And that's quite a contrast to Philadelphia, where their first 3 games are all on the road, and their next 3, weeks 4, 5, and 6, all at home for Philadelphia.
And it's not uncommon that a team can sometimes have that on the schedule. What would you expect for this particular contest today?
Well, I think I have a lot of respect for Philadelphia, what they're going to be able to do here. They've got a lot of long-tenured talent on this team. Dominique Williams is the player I'm going to be watching for. In her last 2 seasons, she had over 400 receiving yards for the Phantoms, and she's now entering her 8th season with Philadelphia. And talking with their organization, they have 8 players who have spent 5 years or more with this team. So in their transition from the WNFC to now the WFA, they've done a great job at finding their players to be loyal. There's not a lot of turnover on this roster, although they do have a new head coach in Mike Ochmanowicz.
I will also mention, too, for the Warriors, I think if the Phantoms are to be victorious today, they need to stop the Tri-State quarterback, Sine Williams, who threw for 3 touchdowns, threw for 132 yards. So Tri-State's got a good passing game, so we shall see what happens with that. Actually, you know what? Why don't we go ahead and take a breather? We will come back and get things started for you from North Philly right after this. Stay with us.
Happy International Women's Month from AWSN. This month and every month, we're celebrating the power, resilience, and brilliance of women in sports. From the pioneers who paved the way to the champions making history today. Women's sports are stronger than ever, and you know where to watch it all? Right here on AWSN, the home of live women's sports, because when she wins, we all win.
Congratulations! You can now take courses from the best universities in the world. Harvard? Check. MIT? Check. Berkeley? Check. No need to apply, no need to pay. Only at edX. Computer science and coding? Free. Finance and accounting? Free. Engineering and law? Free. Languages, literature, and more. You name it, edX has it. Learn, learn, learn. Hello new skills. Hello new job. Hello new you. Pick up that smartphone and make it do something smart. Go to edX.org and get going. edX. Sign up for a free course today. edX.org.
All right, we welcome you back here to North Philly for the Women's Football Alliance contest between the Philly Phantoms and the Tri-State Warriors. Hope everyone's having a good Saturday once again. I'm Tom Wilkins, my son Dan Wilkins with me, and Howard Gaber taking care of the controls. Before we went to break, I wanted to mention, you're looking at two teams. They seem to be evenly matched, but what will your key to the game be?
Well, my key for Tri-State is to keep a level head. Obviously, when you win 34-0 in Week 1, that is huge. But neither of these teams have had incredible winning successes in the last couple of years. So this is a good get-back game. For Philadelphia, they're looking to get their first their first season of 500 or better since 2021. And for Tri-State, they've only been around since 2021. So they've been trying to prove their footprint here in WFA, proving that they belong. And their Week 1 performance versus Maine certainly showed that they have a seat at the table.
And there's no question that Tri-State, as we mentioned, had some good passing yards by their quarterback, Sine Williams, who threw for 3 touchdowns and an interception, but still had a really fine game against Maine last week. I think for the Philly Phantoms, even though they are the away team technically on their home turf, which is a little bit unusual situation, as we mentioned a few minutes ago, you could see how this team is hungry to get off to a good start after dealing with the transitions they've done over the last couple of years.
Well, talking about Sine Williams, the North Carolina A&T product, she threw 5 for 13 last week, 132 passing yards, 3 TDs, and as you said, 1 interception. But her passer rating was 84, which I think is a darn good number. And I think if you ask for anything more out of Tri-State here, I think that these guys are going to rely on the passing game a little bit. Meanwhile, their rusher from last week, they had some decent rushing numbers as well. A lot of it came from Haley DeLonzo. A decent amount of it came from DeJay Williams as well. So, and Deneen Robinson. There's a handful of names. Even though the receivers and the running backs that they have, they certainly like to diversify the amount of backs that they use in the field.
DeLonzo, Ranzone, and Wise were ones who caught touchdowns last week in their game over the Maine Mayhem. As you can see, Tri-State, they're wearing their home black uniforms with the black helmets and red numerals. The Philly Phantoms are in their away white uniforms, black and kind of a neon green trim. So that's their uniform schedule here for this week. And what we're going to be doing here on HSG Network is we're going to give you some replays by way of the drone that is above our field. So we will most certainly give you some good highlights and angles as best as possible here.
Well,
it'll be a little bit of a different contraption here.
I was going to say, Tom, there's a good reason why our boss is flying the drone and not either of us.
But yours only lasted 2 days, right?
Well, yeah, it's a good thing we're on the microphones and not on the controls.
Well, hey, that's the way things go sometimes. Anyway, the referees have everything all situated.
There you go.
We should be all set as there's a drone shot above here in North Philly. This is basically called Cecil B. Moore Avenue. It's Brady Field, a field that was dedicated when Michael Nutter was mayor of Philly. And as you can see here, a little bit of camera droning here, and you see about 50 feet above the field.
Yeah.
So,
and you get to see a lot of the great Temple buildings. I tell you, Temple's campus has gotten so much attention, and it's been a fantastic campus over the years. really glad to be here in Philadelphia today because this is a great field for a great ball game and should be some great competition as well.
All right, teams are about ready to line up for the opening kickoff. And it looks to me that the Phantoms, I think they wanted to toss and they're going to choose in the second half based upon how they're lining up. Tri-State will receive the ball first. They'll move left to right, Philly right to left, and we'll switch sides during the second quarter. So the Phantoms, who are pretty much all white with black helmets and some neon green trim, they'll be the ones kicking off, and we will see how this is going to go. I think we're ready for some football, even though we've missed it for a couple months. Doesn't matter what type of football it is, it's still football.
Well, you see, I watch the UFL, so I really haven't missed football since the Super Bowl. But yes, this is very much a different environment for us here in the Philadelphia city proper. It's going to be a very fun game tonight.
Well, that's all we can hope for. All right, two ladies standing probably at about the 10-yard line as the referee will be blowing his whistle in just a moment. By the way, in the WFA kickoff start, well, it looks to be the 45-yard line. All right, referee blows his whistle. We should be underway in just a second. We're making sure everyone's lined up properly. Now, I don't know if Philly's lining up for an Andy Reid onside kick circa 2000, but who knows. Eleanor Quince, she's the one who'll be kicking off. And it looks like Gabriella Cole will be the one standing by for Tri-State. The approach, and here we go. Short kickoff, directional. Taking it about, I think it's Ransom who takes it. Will cross the 30-yard line, maybe get to about the 32, and that's where Tri-State will operate first and 10.
Yeah, Tori Ransom last week had 56 yards and a receiving touchdown, the product of Penns Grove, New Jersey and Salem County. That was a good return there. The kick was a little bit weak, but she found her way to deflect it to the left side, break a couple tackles, and find herself in decent field position to open up the ball game.
You know, Dan, in leagues like this, you see a lot of directional kicking, and I think on both sides, we're going to see a lot of it depending on how things break today, whether it be for scoring or whatnot. So I was not expecting any touchbacks to happen, but sometimes you have to kind of modify your special teams for situations like this.
Well, you see the same thing in certain levels of high school football as well. You know, you see that those kickers, if they don't get the same yardage that somebody with a stronger leg would, the best thing you can do in that situation is try to jam them into the corner. If you get them to go to the near side where we are or on the far side where Philadelphia is standing, that really can change your dynamic. If there's a shot from our drone above,
not a bad
right
shot.
Above the field goal. Well, your boss is controlling the drone, so I hope you wouldn't call it a bad shot.
Not necessarily. But the ball is spotted at the 32-yard line, first and 10. Looks like Williams is lining up in a shotgun here. Awaiting the snap, takes it, and it's going to be a handoff. Going right tackle, and Philly's waiting for him. Does a good job closing the hole on the right-hand side, and probably a 2-yard loss there. So that's a good start for the Philly defense. Remember, this is their opener. So you figure, and making the stop will be, looks like Danu Robinson. And I have to say, Dan, too, when you have a team like Philly who's in their opener, you know they're probably going to be prone to maybe a few more mistakes compared to Tri-State, who has a game under their belt already, and they should be at least knowing what they should be doing. So that's going to be another interesting facet to today.
Well, I'm interested to see Robinson. She had that first down rush that time. She had 6 rushes in last week's win over Maine, but only recorded 3 yards. She also recorded a tackle on the other side of the ball.
Second and 12 for the 30-yard line. Again, the shotgun to go. Looks to be a receiver on each side.
And DeLonzo's in the slot.
A quick throw to that slot and caught to about the 35, 36-yard line. So about a 6-yard pickup. Nice job on the part of Nicole Williams to get that one, and makes it a 3rd and 6 coming up.
Yeah, I had the wrong player on the slot, but that was Nicole Williams. She also had a good rushing performance versus Maine last week. 5 rushes, 29 yards, the product of Penn State. Really finding a way to get Philadelphia some short gains here, but That 1 yard loss that they had on the first rush, I think that could hurt them here, because if they had gained even a yard or two, 3rd and 5 is a lot better than 3rd and 7. Neither are impossible, but every yard that you trickle back, the harder it is to get those chains moving.
I will see what happens here on 3rd and 6. Ball spotted at the 36-yard line. Back to regular view here. Oh, a drop snap. And the Fams were ready. I didn't hear a whistle go, so the Fams just throwing them down to the 20-yard line. Nicole Williams, evidently they thought the play was over, but the Fams kept playing until the whistle blew, so kind of like a little bit of a mistake by the Warriors.
We have a flag down.
Oh, we do have a flag.
Yeah, flag came in immediately on the snap, so we're going to see what the call is here.
Well, we'll find out from this officiating crew who the guilty party is.
Got an encroachment on Philadelphia.
Oh, so
and a face mask.
Oh, so you got multiple fouls on the play, and that's a huge break for Tri-State, because that's going to be a first down, I believe.
Well, you know what? You don't see that all the time, because the encroachment on the defense, first of all, they let the play run out, which if it was a neutral zone infraction, that would have been different. But because it's encroachment, they let the play run. And in that case, Philadelphia, I wonder if the face mask came when they were tackling Nicole Williams. If that's the case, that is an even costlier first down, because that was an entirely avoidable play. When you have an encroachment like that, you really have to play it safe to avoid yourself getting in more trouble than you could afford.
That's a major foul, 15 yards. So it was offside, and it was a free play. And unfortunately for the Phantoms, they end up having a major penalty that took place. So that means the Warriors get a first down.
Lead the 49.
All right, so from our HSG drone shot, it is 1st and 10 for the 49. They'll try and hand off at the middle, but the Fams are right there to get Williams hung down on the other side of 50. 2-yard loss. You can thank Antonique Evans, who made the stop there.
Yeah, Evans came in from the nose guard position, and she faded to her right, found a way to get Williams wrapped up from behind for the product of Philadelphia. Really was able to get a yard loss that time. It's the second set of downs in a row now where Tri-State has had a loss on their first rush. Wouldn't be surprised if they try to go for another short, maybe screen pass here on second down.
It'd be interesting to see how they play out here. They're going to go spread here. 4 receivers and the back to the left of Sine Williams. See what happens here on this 2nd and 11 from the midfield stripe. Sine in the shotgun, takes it. Goes back, going to throw up the screen. Oh, what a nice catch at the 40. And still going and down about the 38. That is Haley DeLonzo, who made the grab there. All the way down to the 39. Right at the line again. We'll see if she got the first down. But that was actually a very nice play. Kind of like a in pattern there.
Yeah, and the tackle was made by Anisha Hargrove as really moving across the middle. Haley DeLonzo last week versus Maine, she only had 1 catch, but she made it count. She had 59 yards on that one play, brought it in for a touchdown. Not to mention the fact that she is also the team's punter. She has punted the ball 3 times for a grand total of 96 yards gained on the punt.
I'll tell you what.
Very versatile player.
Female of all trades there when it comes to that position. It was good enough for a first down. It's a 1st and 10 for the 39-yard line. So they'll hand it off up the middle. This time some positive yardage down to the 35-yard line. Maybe there might be a flag there. So let's see what this is all about.
It's another one that came right on the play, and we've got an offsides coming.
So it looks to possibly be another one up in the neutral zone. And I think this is, I don't know if I should say, should be expected of the Fams, and this is the season opener. I mean, a lot of players who know each other, but also some new faces. And sometimes, even with it being a veteran crew, it may take a little time to gel and get things used to.
And not only that, but I would say as well, this is the only team in this current region, the North region, that has not played a game yet. The other 5 teams have. Obviously, Tri-State, Harrisburg, and Baltimore in the win column. Buffalo and Maine have lost their games. But for Philadelphia, it's kind of like an NFL team having a week 1 bye. Like, you're not used to it. So you're kind of starting on a different foot, and you're going to try to get used to it in the in-game action.
We had that when there were 31 teams in the NFL. That's
right.
Last time that happened. All right, so they took the 5-yard offside. 1st and 5 now. They're going to try and sweep around, and there are the Phantoms haunting down Blaze all the way back to the 40-yard line. I'll tell you what, that Philly defense, they're coming quick, and they managed to make the stop for a big loss.
Yeah, tackle was made that time, by Jalissa Flagger, captain of the team. She's been here for 8 years. Remember, the Phantoms were founded by Star Wright in 2015, so there's some players that have been here for a very long time. Carmen Henson, she's a captain, wearing number 3. She's lined up as a middle linebacker right now. She's been with the Philadelphia Phantoms for 12 years, and this is her final season. Not to mention Dominique Williams. We'll see her on the offensive side. They call her Agent Zero, kind of like Gilbert Arenas. She's been there for 5 years and a 3X All-Pro.
Yeah, it's very interesting. You mentioned Dominique and Star Wright. Those are like 2 veteran Phantom faces for sure. High snap on 2nd down. They're going to screen out left, trying to get around the corner to 35. But there's that looked to be Ransom. She slipped out of a tackle. I guess maybe another yard or 2 more, and is able to get 6 yards on the play. It looks like can't even see here. Look like Dabney with the stop. But that'll force a 3rd down. But I tell you what, Philly could have forced it a little further back if they were able to properly tackle.
Yeah, I think that there were a couple missed opportunities there. I think, first of all, the offensive line really held up, and we've got a WFA replay here.
Yeah, let's take a look at the replay from our HSG drone view. They tripled the left side here. Watch how quickly the screen develops, Stan.
Yeah, the screen developed incredibly quickly. You could see the linebacker fading over towards the right guard, and she's just wide open. Behind the line of scrimmage, gets a great fade, goes over to the side, hugging the sideline, and was able to get enough yards to make it 3rd and 5.
They'll spot the ball at the 34-yard line. 3rd and 5. 29's the line of gain. Again, the shotgun. This time they'll triple to right in a 4-receiver set. And they're going to do the same play, only the other direction. Delonzo trying. How about that move by Delonzo? To the 30. Oh, and she is going to be close to a 1st down. We will see where they spot the ball. Evans on the stop. And we're going to find out what it's going to be. It could be a 4th and less than a yard. It could be a 1st down. We'll see what the officials say.
Yeah, that marker looks like it's ahead of the line, but we got to see where this ball's spotted. It's on the right hash at the 29, in between the 30 and the 29, and they are going to move those sticks for a 1st down.
Wow. Talk about 2nd and 3rd effort by Delonzo. I mean, she did that in the last 2 plays.
As much as I'm excited to see Tri-State on offense, I'm even more excited to see them on defense because of Librant Robinson. Remember, co-owner of the team along with Rich Harrigan. Robinson with a 5th-round draft pick by the Washington Redskins in 1989 after playing at Delaware State, played 5 games in the NFL, and we'll get to see his defensive mind applied to these ladies here on their 11th side of the field.
All right, this time a 4-receiver set, this time a triple bunch on the left. 1st and 10 for the 29. It's going to be a pitch out. Oh, she dropped the football. I think she's able to recover it about a yard behind the line, the 30-yard line. Got to make sure the ball is secured, and that's another thing. You got to make sure ball security is a major thing, and early in the season, that ends up being a challenge.
Well, in all fairness to Nicole Williams, that pitch was a little bit high, and she was also able to smother it really quickly. I think as soon as she realized that that ball was not going to stay in her hands, she found a way to make that her mission to stop it and stop the bleeding and prevent a turnover, because not enough football players do that. They think when they're fumbling it, they are still thinking about going forward. No, you just have to shut it down. Prevent yourself from getting in any more trouble. Just smother the ball, prevent any issues there. But a good job by Philadelphia to read that fumble.
All right, 2nd, and it looks like 11 from the 30-yard line. And needless to say, ball security. Fall on it, keep the possession. Sine back to pass. Going to take a shot down the field. Oh, and it just went in and out of the hands, incomplete. Very close call there, because if that is hauled in, that could have been 6.
Well, first of all, I mean, Torrey Ransom, who had 2 receptions and a touchdown last week, showing the hands, but I mean, coming in from the defensive end, Antonique Evans, the Philadelphia product, how about that pass rush? Came in from the side, was able to get that around, and I don't think that Williams gets even close to making that pass if she's got, or I should say the opposite. I think that she found her way to make that pass happen because of the pressure, and maybe it was a little bit too strong because of that. If she had an open look, her O-line didn't do anything wrong. Antonique Evans just found her way to swoop around the O-line and put Williams under pressure.
Timing is everything when it comes to plays like that, and sometimes you get somebody open, just couldn't haul it down. That happens to all receivers, you know. 3rd down, 3rd and 11 actually, from the 30-yard line. Again, lining up in the shotgun. They'll triple to right again, 4 receiver set. Sine Williams in the shotgun will take it. Rush coming. Taking a shot downfield. Same play again. And the pass is a little wide. Incomplete. The far side official said she caught it, but out of bounds. Did not possess the ball while her feet were in, so it's ruled incomplete, and that's a break for the Fams because they got 4th and 11.
Well, Antoinette Wise had a good route that time, but Williams threw it into double coverage. Leading that charge was number 21 and Christine Wilson out of Camden County College.
Yeah, let's watch
another replay coming our way.
Yeah, let's watch the replay here, and you'll see the pressure on the right-hand side, Dan, that kind of forced Sine to throw it a little bit earlier than she would have liked.
Well, I was surprised that she threw it to the left side at all because we did run a trips right. And taking a look at it here, you could see that double coverage that she throws to. There were a couple open receivers downfield, including one of their tight ends, number 89, in Christine Chubb out of Chowan University. So, I mean, I don't think it was a missed opportunity, but as a quarterback, hindsight is 20/20, and she ended up throwing it to a receiver that was not open.
I'm guessing she wanted to go for the weak side and try and surprise. The only thing was the previous play did the same exact thing.
Right.
Just a little bit of a different set.
It's hard to fool defenses like this.
Very true, even if it's just their opener. All right, 4th and 11 from the 30-yard line. Sine Williams back to pass. Going to take a shot. Pass is caught, but I don't think she got the first down. About 2 yards short, the 21-yard line. Great stop by the Phantoms defense. They forced a turnover on downs. And the opening drive for Tri-State ends up stalling at the 21, and Philly will take over.
Well, Christine Chubb ran the slant from the right side that time, and she only had 1 catch last week, but she was able to contribute on the other side of the ball as well with 5 tackles. So I don't mind that at all. I think passing, on a 4-down situation here, I don't mind it. I don't think that they were in the best position to punt. It was just really the best situation that they could make. And right now, what I'll tell you, though, for Philadelphia, that was a time-wasting drive for the Warriors. 9 minutes off the board. Right now looking at 5:42 here in the first quarter. Very surprising to see that drive take so long and yet result in no points.
Well, you have to remember, too, sometimes it's a matter of how the teams match up. So that could have something to do with that, too.
It's one of those Navy triple option drives that take 12 minutes.
Yeah, it could be. All right, so the Philly Phantoms all in white with black helmets and some neon green trim. Their first possession of their season in the Women's Football Alliance. 1st and 10 for the 21-yard line. And they're going to go with an end around, and the Warriors were ready for it. No gain on the play. Tried to loop around and get some yardage, but tell you what, good job by Tri-State's defense being able to stop Jerry Clark, one of the captains, and forcing a 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Jerry Clark, another name that when I talked with the Philadelphia folks, they highlighted her to us. She's been with the team for 8 years. Her nickname is Jersey. She wears number 22, comes out of Osceola High School in Middletown, Pennsylvania. She's a one-time All-Pro, 2X All-American. She's been a great part of this Phantoms organization. She'll get the rush again.
And she's going to run it again and get to the 25 this time. So a 4-yard pickup. They got to get to the 31 for the line gain. So a 3rd and 6. Are we going to see Philly try and pass on this play?
Well, what I'm intrigued by is those last 2 plays we saw the secondary make tackles for Tri-State that time. First one came from Haley DeLonzo, who, as we said, had a tackle last week versus Maine, but she also had an interception in that game and a pass deflection. On that last play, tackle came from Kawana Coward out of Camden County College.
Well, they're going to go a little up-tempo here. 3rd and 6 to the 25. Back to pass. Firing. Pass is caught for a 1st down to the 37-yard line. That's a nice skinny post up in the middle. and a gain of 12, and I think it was number 9 for the Phantoms who caught it. And they will move the chains, and Philly will have a first down. And as you can see, they are going no huddle, otherwise known as a tempo offense. Kind of like more of a modified formation for each of the plays.
I thought you said a tempo offense instead of a tempo offense.
Well, that's why they're doing no huddle. Well, that might be across the street, but I'm not sure if their head coach is going to do that this fall. Here's a pass that ends up being caught. That's Dominique Williams able to grab it at about the 48-yard line, and that should move the sticks. It's kind of like right at the first down. Actually, it looks like a yard short of a first down. And now an official timeout. Actually, Tri-State is going to call a timeout.
Yeah, 3:30 left in the quarter. I mean, that was a good catch by Williams that time. Like we said, in her last 2 seasons with Philadelphia, she had 440 receiving yards.
And we'll go ahead and take a break here with 3.5 left in the first. No score, but Philly's driving. We'll come back in a moment.
A Nation comes in easy-to-go sticks, and I want to show you how easy they are to make. Rip off the top, pour it in, no mess. Shake it, 1, 2, 3, and this is all ready to drink.
All right, we are back after that Tri-State timeout. They did give Philly the first down after that 10-yard pickup. So 1st and 10 for the 48-yard line. Looks like they're changing the formation and tripling the left side. Looks like they're going to go in a bunch in this 4-receiver set. Single setback, and they will hand it up the middle to about the midfield stripe, maybe the 49, about a 3-yard pickup that time. That was Bianca Allen with that 3-yard rush, and now they are in Warrior territory here as we get into the closing stages of the first quarter.
Well, what I can tell you is that this is the first game, this is the first drive for head coach Mike Ochmanowicz Sr. His son has been involved in women's football as well since he was 15 years old and a quarterback at Ridley High School. These two coaches, Mike Harrigan and Mike Ochmanowicz, they have a lot of experience in women's football, and this is going to be a veteran-heavy game today.
Same formation on 2nd down. Looping a pass, and it is caught for about a 2-yard pickup to the 47-yard line. Nice stop on the part of LaShawna Alexander, who was able to bring down the Philly receiver and force a 3rd and 5.
Yeah, Alexander showing why she's such a defensive force here for Tri-State. She had 10 tackles last week, along with an interception and a pass deflection. So she has found her way right into the limelight here for Tri-State, the product of Bloomsburg University.
All right, official timeout, evidently trying to make sure the time is correct.
Yeah, the time didn't move on the last couple of plays. When we had the timeout by Tri-State, it was at 3:30. So I believe it will probably be somewhere about a minute subtracted from that.
We'll say about 2.5. We'll see what the officials say.
Probably the common logic there.
All right, so 3rd and 6. Back to pass and lobbing up the middle.
Williams.
It's caught for a first down. All the way down to 39-yard line. So another 8-yard pickup. Dan, what was that formation there? That was more than an I formation. That was a capital I formation.
Yeah, I mean, that was – I was surprised they didn't get called for having too many people in the backfield. But that was maybe that was the right number. But still, found Dominique Williams over there. And whether there was a gap in the Philadelphia Phantoms over the last couple of years, they certainly have sealed that gap here with Dominique Williams, their star receiver.
Looks like a plank formation.
Ball's out.
Oh, and the ball is fumbled. And Philly luckily falls on the back of the 43, so they subtract themselves 4 yards. And it forces a 2nd and 14. And it looked like Diamond Beckford was the one who was able to knock it out and make the tackle.
Well, that's a good save by Philadelphia's quarterback, Eleanor Quince, out of Morrisville. I mean, she found a way when the ball came out. Again, this is what we saw on Tri-State side. We've now seen a fumble on each side, where in this case, they're not trying to advance it any further. They just shut it down, cut your losses, and get back to the next play without giving up possession.
It'll be 2nd and 14. Same formations before,
Play
rolling back the pass and looking at a play fake. May have to run it and ends up getting back probably a line of scrimmage. So it looks like the Tri-State Warriors look like they are clamping down their defense here on their side of the field. And makes it a 3rd and probably 13, depending on where they spot the ball. They're going to say the 42-yard line, so you got 3rd and 13 coming up.
I was going to say, I didn't think Quince got anywhere on that, but a great pass rush by Diamond Beckford there. 5'10", 220 out of Kent State. She really found a way to pressure the quarterback, and so much so that she didn't even throw the ball, found her way to get out on the far sideline. Again, you're cutting your losses here with 1:30 left in the quarter.
All right, they're going to send a triple on the right side here. 4 receivers set. Empty gun, even though nobody's behind the center. On 3rd down, whoops.
Movement.
Somebody jumped. The question is, were they drawn? Beckford looked like she may have jumped.
And they did call it against Tri-State.
That is an encroachment foul. So 3rd and 8 beats 3rd and 13. And now Philly is going to use their first timeout here at about a minute left here in the first quarter. So guess we'll stay here for a minute. Yeah, actually, we're going to take a break. I'm sorry. Late first quarter, no score with a 3rd and 8 coming up. We'll be back in a moment. Back after that Phantoms timeout and an encroachment foul against the Warriors. The situation now is 3rd and 8 for the Phantoms. Ball spot at the 37, 29's the line of game. A little bit more of a condensed formation, tripling to right. Back to pass, gonna take a shot downfield. She's got it to the 20, the 10, and pushed that inside the 5. Rachel Yerger able to make the grab. There doesn't look to be any flags down, so the Phantoms have 1st and goal inside the 5-yard line.
Listen, that's a great start, and what could be a penultimate play for this drive. With Philadelphia now solidly in the red zone, they could really, with a minute left, they could run out this clock, or they could try to get something punched into the end zone before first quarter comes to a close.
I remind you, Dan, that is a long walk to the other side if time runs out.
Everybody get their steps in.
Well, let's just say that they all are already here in this first quarter. All right, 1st and goal. They're going to spot it about the 2. That encroachment foul turns out huge against Tri-State. They go full house, and they hand it off. Oh, the Phantoms said no. The Phantoms were told no by the Tri-State defense, and Antoinette Wise just threw her down for a big loss. And it looks like that'll run the clock to quarter time.
Well, they tried using Yerger on the 2nd play in a row. Yerger had the first play, that nice catch down the far sideline. And as time does hit 0, she tried to run that same play off to the right. Unsuccessful, though, and at first quarter time, got 2 goose eggs on the scoreboard.
Well, hey, it's been an entertaining opening drive for both teams. So as we'll take a breather here after 1. Phantoms and Warriors. No score, but Philly knocking on the door. We'll take a break. Quarter number 2 comes your way after this.
Happy International Women's Month from AWSN. This month and every month, we're celebrating the power, resilience, and brilliance of women in sports. From the pioneers who paved the way to the champions making history today, women's sports are stronger than ever. And you know where to watch it all? Right here on AWSN, the home of live women's sports, because when she wins, we all win.
All right, we're back here, quarter number 2. Ready to start. Back to pass, trying to lob it in, and looked like she didn't come up with the ball. So it's going to be 3rd and goal. Ball's going to be spotted at the 5-yard line. By the way, I'm Tom Wilkins, my son Dan Wilkins with me, and Howard Gaper, of course, taking care of the controls. And some crazy shouts to Joey Pagan tuning in to this football contest. Hopefully he is doing all right. Great job by father and son, even though we've only done 1 quarter.
Father and Son is my favorite Cat Stevens song.
And Jinx is a cat scratcher. What can I tell you? Our cat, that is. All right, 3rd and goal for the 5. You said 2 receivers out on the left. Let's see what happens here. Send a lady in motion. A delayed handoff and nothing there.
It's Sean Alexander with the sack. Or unless that was a handoff.
That was a delayed handoff. I think that might have been a broken play, and the Warriors were ready for it.
Yeah, sorry, I messed up on that one. That went to Nikita Harper on the left side that time. Just really tried to find Philadelphia to get any gap in that zone. But, again, Sean Alexander, she's already up to 3 tackles today. She had 10 last week versus Maine. I think that Sean Alexander is a name we are going to be mentioning a lot tonight for the former Bloomsburg product.
Well, that was a heck of a play considering what the defense has done here. Fam's got to the 2. All of a sudden, they're back at their 9. They got 4th and goal. So they're going to try a pass play. They got a bunch of triple on the far side. Single back behind the quarterback.
And that is a really tight bunch here.
Going back, looking, rolling right, escaping a tackle. Has room to run to the 10.
Got a chance.
Slips through 1, not the other. She's going to be short at about the 3. So the Warriors hold their line and force the turnover on downs. The only bad thing is they're going to be starting way deep in their own territory.
Well, that was a 1-2 punch by the Tri-State defense that time. Didn't we mention that Tri-State is going to be a defense-oriented team with Lybrant Robinson, the former Washington Redskin who went to Delaware State? There's a reason why they have a former NFL defensive end on their staff, and it's because of plays like that. You saw Diamond Beckford on the pass rush, but coming in to assist with April Romeo. Now, she had 2.5 sacks last week versus Maine, and again, we're just seeing that dominance on display with really able to wrap up the quarterback in Quince, and now sets it for a turnover on downs. And Tri-State, you're right, they are very deep in their own territory, but we'll see what happens. Somebody's got to score.
Well, you mentioned defensive-oriented. There's a reason why they won 34-0 last week over Maine. They threw the goose egg, and they still have a goose egg through 5+ quarters after stopping the Fam's opening drive.
Yeah, and there were some other close games in that WFA division, too. I mean, just in this region alone, you had Harrisburg, who beat Buffalo 14-6, and over in the central region, you had Indiana beating Derby City 35-30. In this division, too, across all 4 regions, we saw some close games in week 1. It was just that Tri-State was on the very good end of a very lopsided victory.
All right, so let's see what the Warriors do for their second drive. They turned the ball over on downs the first time. Now on first down, there's an open hole. That's going to help. Pushing and pushing to the 10, maybe the 11. How about an 8-yard gain to get yourself out of trouble? Trying to get off the pile here. It looks like it was Robinson with the carry there. But I'll tell you what, a nice 8. They might have given her 9 yards there to the 12.
Yeah, she was able to muscle her way through, and she only had 3 yards last week versus Maine, but I also think that in your season opener, you're not going to see your best players get all the reps in the first week because these girls are still trying to figure it out. They're still trying to get everybody under the same page, and in this case, they're using a litany of different runners this afternoon.
And once again, using the HSG drone here, second down. Again, a handoff, trying to push up the middle. There was a hole there, not as big this time. But he gets her to the 15, and that's going to be a first down. So Tri-State able to move the chains a little bit for the beginning of this drive.
And the tackle on the defensive line by Janiyah Serrano-Morrow, number 98. She was able to wrap up that defender that time, and even though it's enough for a first down, again, not everything is very black and white in this league, and really in any football. You do have to worry about, even though they got a first down, okay, how many yards did they get after that first down? Were you able to hold them? Were you able to put them still deep in their own territory? For what it's worth, they're still inside their own 20 right now. This is still a very good defensive drive for Philadelphia. They just can't let it slip.
And keep your eye on the middle of the field. Last 2 plays, we've seen some openings here. So as we look at the HSG drone again, it's 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line.
Lucky Taylor.
Let's see what Sine does. Play fake. Slips out of one.
Oh.
And not going to. Oh, now flag goes down, and she goes down to 10-yard line. And we will see what this is all about.
That sack was made if it stands by that 12-year veteran, or pardon, the 8-year veteran we were talking about, Jalissa Flagger, on the defensive line.
Based upon where everyone's moving, it looks like that's going to be on Tri-State, although the officials have not made an official remark just yet. Oh, actually, they...
I think that was a hold called.
Yeah, they're usually when there's a call along the offensive line, that's what it was.
Yeah, I think we saw the same thing. I think we saw it from Chelsea Iampaglia to Point Pleasant Borough. That I believe she's lining up, the right guard. I think that's what we saw there.
It ends up losing 10 on the play. So 2nd and 20, because the holding penalty was declined. And the shotgun is Sine. They got to go handoff left side, crossing the 10, getting a little bit of yards back down to the 11-yard line. So Janine Robinson was able to pick up another 6 more, and out comes a 3rd and long now for the Warriors.
And Flagger had the tackle again. She's also up to 3 defensive tackles here for Philadelphia so far. You're seeing the stars start to shine here in this week 2. Obviously, first game for Philadelphia, second for Tri-State. Honestly, you hit the head on the nail in the open that these two teams are very evenly matched.
Head on the nail.
Yeah,
only I would understand that one.
Hit the nail.
I will tell you, Ashana Alexander, last week she was part of 10 tackles for this Warriors team. So, and we're going to be seeing her a little bit more when they go on defense again. And I think we have a timeout. So I think we're going to do the same thing, as we have just under 10 left till halftime. No score to fans of Warriors. We'll come back in just a moment. Back here in North Philly, right outside of Temple, Warriors called that last timeout as they're discussing what's going to be a pretty big 3rd down play. They got a long way to go. 3rd and 14, right outside the 11-yard line. What really killed the drive was that 10-yard loss compounded with a holding foul, which was declined. And that's why they ended up going right back almost to where they started from. So here, they want to discuss this 3rd and 14 play. Now, remember, Warriors do have some good passing, so the fans have to be careful, and they have to make sure they win the battle of the line here. Looks like they're spreading things out.
And Philadelphia still lining up with 1 safety and Lucky Taylor.
Back to the right of Sine in the shotgun. Now they send the lady in motion. And a jet sweep. And
a couple big hits.
Yeah, down to the 16-yard line. Not exactly a Spirit Airlines play, but it ends up being 4th and long. Ransom was the one who got the ball. Ended up only being a 5-yard gain, but right now you're looking at a 4th and 9, and I would think we're going to be seeing special teams now for the Warriors.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me, especially with Haley DeLonzo. She averaged 36 yards on her punts last week versus Maine. She had 3 punts, 96 yards. I'm sorry, the average was 32 yards. But still, she's done everything, and I wouldn't be surprised if she lines up for it, but no, Sene Williams and company, they are still on the field.
Actually, it is 3rd and 10. I beg your pardon here.
Well, maybe next play.
From the 16-yard line, Sene in a shotgun to go spread again. back to the right. Takes a snap. Gonna take a shot downfield. There's an open Blaney, and she's got it at the 35 for a first down. Again, 3rd and long, and they connect again and move the chains. Quite a play by the Warriors there.
Haley DeLonzo, man, that's a great play. I mean, she just found her spot on the left. She was able to catch the ball as it was coming down, didn't have to make that play on the run. That's what we call mutual agreement on those plays, where Sine Williams, that was a great pass. It was a good catch by Haley DeLonzo. Not to mention Anisha Hargrove on the tackle there really could have prevented further damage here for Philadelphia.
And also, let's add the timing aspect. They must know each other very well to time this so well, and making sure that each one hits at precisely the right instant. And that's exactly what they did. So the Warriors, after that 19-yard pickup, 1st and 10 for the 35-yard line. Here's Sine back the pass, rolling left, under a little bit of a rush. Now some room to run. She wants, and then does not really do a good job sliding, but at least prevents her. Decides to kind of white flag it, and ends up losing a yard, make it 2nd and 11.
Well, that was weird because Sine Williams did an amazing job of getting past that pass rush. I mean, Philadelphia, they had her cornered, and then she makes this zigzag to the right side, and she found her way through. But I guess that she really didn't want to face that second line of defense, and instead she gives herself up. I mean, it's 1 yard, but these are some very long drives. We had one that ended the first quarter. The first drive of the game was 9 minutes. The next one was another 8, and these two teams really stalling out here. One of these teams has to break through, and I feel like it could be one score that decides this game. I think it goes without saying this is going to be a defense-heavy ball game tonight.
Well, the way things are trending right now, I would not be surprised. On 2nd down, here's a handoff, and the Phantoms are ready. They tried giving it to Nicole Williams, and she had nowhere to go. At the 32-yard line, is there a flag down?
No, timeout, Philadelphia.
Oh, Phantoms called timeout.
Surprised they're all using their timeouts so early. Both of these guys only have one left now.
Well, it's pretty funny. I guess it's a matter of how they want to proceed after. So let's take a break here midway 2nd. Still, Phams and Warriors, no score. We'll be back in just a moment.
Congratulations! You can now take courses from the best universities in the world. Harvard? Check. MIT? Check. Berkeley? Check. No need to apply, no need to pay. Only at edX. Computer science and coding? Free. Finance and accounting? Free. Engineering and law? Free. Languages, literature, and more. You name it, edX has it. Learn, learn, learn. Hello new skills. Hello new job. Hello new you. Pick up that smartphone and make it do something smart. Go to edX.org and get going. edX. Sign up for a free course today. edX.org.
A Nation comes in easy-to-go sticks, and I want to show you how easy they are to make.
All right, back here in North Philly, following that Phantom timeout, each team with one left. Phams are faced with a 3rd and 13 all the way back at their 33-yard line. They're going to triple to right, 4 receivers set, back to the left. It's Sine Williams who takes the snap. Looking, pressure coming, and down she goes. I think the ball might come out too.
Scramble.
Let's hear what the officials say.
That was Evans who had the rush and Merrow who punched the ball out.
But it looks like the Warriors still have it back. And now I would suspect they would need to punt the football here.
Yeah, 4th and 12. With
Well,
how good
fourth
of a,
and even longer than that.
Yeah, well, now it is 4th and even longer. With DeLonzo, wouldn't be surprised if she lets this one go.
And this is where the 32-yard per punt from last week comes into play.
Right. Well, I mean, listen, I couldn't find the footage from last week's game with Tri-State and Maine, so I didn't get a chance to watch her. But the fact that Tri-State won 34-0 and still had to punt the ball 3 times really shows that I think that they got the ball in the end zone pretty quickly, and then there were a few drives maybe near the end of the game where they weren't able to get something going, but there were 4 games across Division II that ended in one score last week. It was Harrisburg over Buffalo, Baltimore over Richmond, that was cross-region play, and then over out west you had Indiana over Derby City, and the second one was Atlanta over Birmingham. So there were 4 games across WFA Pro last week that ended in one score, and there was some good football in those games as well.
This gets very competitive, that is for sure.
And
All
very
right.
established as well.
All right, here comes the punt. So make sure to get the special teams on going to the right foot here.
And it's going to be your
Oh, Nicole Williams dropped it, but she's able to get, oh, wow, what a high pop-up.
No fair catch.
And caught at midfield going down to the 42-yard line. Oh, that would have been a Broughton Girard heavy hitter accident if people were not careful there. But
yeah,
wow.
Rachel Yerger, I really would have liked to see her put up a fair catch there. I think that she would have got herself out of trouble. But who am I to judge? Because on this replay, you'll see that she got some extra yards out of it.
Yeah, she most certainly did, as you can tell. I mean, that was a mile-high punt. I mean, that is some leg by Nicole there. Now, even though she didn't get the snap correct, she was able to get it reestablished.
Well, the snap was low. That wasn't her fault. And she was still able to get that out to the 50. And again, that rush in, I don't know if Yerger didn't see that rusher coming in. I was very surprised that she didn't go for a fair catch there.
Well,
because she ended up getting 5 yards out of it. But what happens if that defender comes in at a different angle and ends up pushing the ball out for a fumble?
Also amazing is the fact that we got whistles. I think a flag is down for a false start. So that's going to force the Fams back to a 1st and 15 to begin their drive. But, I mean, I was also impressed with the returner was able to step out of the tackle as soon as she caught the ball.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been a vicious collision. She didn't.
Yeah, I couldn't tell who that was coming in on the rush, but that was a good job by Tri-State to limit her rushing power or her return power.
Now 1st and 15, handoff. Oh, boy. That was a slow developing play, and the Warriors made sure it was going nowhere. Allen was the one who had it. And now forced us even second and longer in this case.
Got a flag down.
And we also got a flag. It was
right at the line of scrimmage.
Oh, they got called on the Warriors for a face mask. Huge break for the Phantoms.
I didn't see it, but there was so much going on that play where it probably could have gotten lost in the shuffle. Referees have a better eye than we do.
I think in this league, any face mask is 15 yards. So that's going to mean probably an automatic first down for the Phantoms. Because they're spotting the ball all the way over.
Well, and the clock is running as well, so I don't know if that's a clerical error or if they're just making up for lost
spotting
time.
at the 33 based upon what we're looking at from the HSG drone, one of 2 drones that are actually up in the sky right now.
Yeah, one of them is ours. The one that you're seeing on the screen is ours. There's another one that has no relation to us. It's a rogue drone.
Well, here's a 2-line format here. 1st and 10, trying to swing the left. Oh, that's not working. Once again, it's Clark, and she went all the way backward. You can definitely thank, looks like
that's
Syriac.
Out of South College.
Yeah, she made a great job stopping her from going any further. And after that major face mask, they end up losing a lot of the yardage.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a neutral trade-off, if you will. You give up the 15 yards on the face mask, and now you end up giving up a little bit more on the rush. So we're gonna have another timeout, I believe, called by Tri-State.
And I believe we can go ahead and take a break too, I think. So let's do that. About 3.5 till halftime. Still no score in this one. We'll come back in just a moment.
A Nation comes in easy-to-go sticks, and I want to show you how easy they are to make. Rip off the top, pour it in, no mess, Shake it. 1, 2, 3. And it's dissolved. Ready to drink.
Okay, following the timeout, 2nd and 19 after that 9-yard loss. Here's a play fake, rolling left. Let's see. There might be some room to run. There will be to the 35, 34-yard line. We'll see where they spot it, getting some of the yardage back, but it's going to be 3rd and double digits, so for the Phantoms.
If I'm correct, she got out at the 35 or 34. But that was a good move there by Quince. Get herself out of trouble. Haley DeLonzo, feel like we're calling her name every other play. I mean, she's been a receiver, she's been a pass rusher, she's been a linebacker, and she's been our punter for Tri-State as well. So
she's been all over the place, in other words.
Instead of a jack of all trades, can she be a Jill of all trades? But the main point is that she's done very well at pressuring this quarterback and preventing any further damage.
Got enough order, Dan, I'll tell you that much. All right, so 3rd and looks like it's going to be about 13. For the 34-yard line, they triple to right, 4 receivers set, bunch set on the right. Back to pass, going to lob off her back foot, and it is intercepted. Taken at about the 23-yard line by guess who? Haley DeLonzo. She comes through again and forces the first turnover of the game.
And that's her 2nd pick in as many weeks. Had one last week versus Maine.
I'll tell you what. Well, if we do look at a replay, which we will, look at the quarterback and how she threw the football, which caused the interception.
Yeah, that was a pass out of the rush that time, out of the pass rush, and she threw it off kilter, and that ball being offline ended up causing some trouble.
So here's how they lined up in that bunch triple. When you see the quarterback, you'll notice that she's throwing while she's going backward, and usually when that happens, bad things happen.
Yeah, that's why I said off kilter. I mean, you see, again, that O-line just kind of collapses on the right guard, and she had to make the pass off kilter, wasn't able to, and DeLonzo gets, as we said, her 2nd interception in as many weeks.
It was inaccurate. It was a double coverage, and DeLonzo was right there to snag it. So now we're going to see the Warriors here with about 3 minutes till halftime. Still no score in the game, but Warriors come through with the first turnover, and now Sine comes back. Back to pass. Going to take a shot down the field. There's an open receiver, 35, 40, 41-yard line. That's an 18-yard pickup and a first down. Gabrielle Cole comes through with an 18-yard pickup.
That's a smart play for a Princeton grad, I can tell you that. It's a great move to the right side. Found her way to get herself a lot of yards. And, now the thing about this game is that you don't realize the clock is creeping up on you until it's too late, because there's only 3 minutes left in the first half now. Neither team has found the end zone, although Tri-State, they got very close. They were unable to. Both teams got very close to the end zone, but were unable to. We're now seeing really the first push, the first clock management push of the game.
And that's something that's not taught very often in leagues like this.
Right.
So 1st and 10 for the 41. Rush coming for Sine Williams, who throws it. It's a short pass and kind of had more like a throwaway pass. They intended for DeLonzo, but it was incomplete. So it'll force a 2nd and 10. It looks like Paris Banks was in coverage there.
Yeah, Paris Banks really gave that a lot of pressure. And that's one of those plays that it won't go down in the stat book, but it looks good from the eye test. Banks came in, she pressured Alonzo, and she found her way to get herself out of that comfort, out of that position, and made her in an uncomfortable spot to make the drop and the incompletion.
And if they actually make pressures a stat, that would go on there.
Right. We just don't have time for that.
As I say, there's a stat for everything in life. 2nd and 10 for the 41-yard line. Sine with 2 receivers left. Oh, there's a rush. She has to snag through.
Here we go.
Throws it down to right. Oh, man, that was close. They went for Antoinette Wise, and she almost came up with it. but just out of reach. It'll be 3rd and 10.
I mean, listen, as we're commentators, as we're the on-air talent from the sidelines, there's only so much that we can judge in terms of hindsight, but Williams throwing out of the sack that time, we just were seeing Haley DeLonzo break from that pass pressure. She was able to beat that defensive back one-on-one. I couldn't tell who it was. I think it might have been Anisha Hargrove again, but it just crazy how it was that we could have had DeLonzo all the way down at the other end for a touchdown, but instead Williams didn't see her, went over the middle, and Wise would have had a good catch. The throw was a little bit high, and it's incomplete.
And sometimes it's just timing. That's usually the case. All right, here we go on 3rd down. 3rd and 10 for the 41-yard line. Looks like they're going to go 3 wide slot left here. Could be a spread. Sine trying to make sure everyone's in play. Back to pass. Going to throw up the middle. And the pass is beautifully caught.
Wow.
By Chubb at the 45-yard line for a 1st down on 3rd and 10. She got 14, and they moved the sticks again as we come to, I believe, the 2-minute timeout.
Yeah, clock stop with 2 minutes here. Just a great catch by Christine Chubb over the middle. It's fundamental.
Well, fundamental catch. I mean, that was executed beautifully. So now 1st and 10.
Well, you know what? I think the clock stopped because of the ball being spotted and the chains being moved. They're not going to have a 2-minute warning or anything. They're going to go straight through it.
All right, so 1st and 10 now from the FAM's 45-yard line. Sine is back to pass. Will lob left. Oh, that pass bounced off a receiver. It was Ransom that was intended. It came close to being intercepted. Into play was Christine Wilson. She was able to bat it away.
Yeah, Wilson almost made a big mistake. She almost sent Ransom to the ground, but she kind of looked around and she was like, I don't want to test my luck and give up a 15-yard penalty. But Ransom, ball just went right through her hands. And, you know, that's one of the reasons why this game is going to be low scoring, is because these two teams are still very early in the season. Obviously, Tri-State had a lot easier of a time taking care of the Maine Mayhems last week. But now that you're facing an even team, especially one that you don't have any tape on, no film, no prior experience. These two teams have not played each other before in franchise history. This is what makes it a good matchup.
And they're feeling each other out. They'll be seeing each other in 4 weeks' time again.
Right.
2nd and 10 for the 45. Hold everything. False start's going to be called against Tri-State. That's going to back them up 5 to the midfield stripe.
Big mistake that time. Did not see who jumped.
It only takes one little flinch.
It's like a balk in baseball. Doesn't matter if you do it 1 inch or a foot, but it still counts, and it still is the penalty.
Wasn't that a situation, the Dodgers game last night, where there was something similar to that?
I didn't watch, but what I can tell you is that it's first of all, false start is a lot more of a clear-cut rule. If you move, you move. Those, as we were talking about in balks, they have a lot more moving parts to them, let's say. This is a lot more cutthroat.
All right, well, they're going to go spread here. 2nd and 15, ball at the midfield stripe. Sine Shaka will take it. Goes back, rush coming. Lobs it left.
Picked. No pick.
And is it? No, it's incomplete. It hit the ground. 25, the nearest person, as Paris Banks. She came very close again, the interception. It just fell a little bit short, but now 3rd and 15 for Tri-State.
You can once again thank the Philadelphia pass rush for breaking up that play, because coming in from the left side, we mentioned it before, was Antonique Evans. She came in, made the pass off kilter. Now, Williams wasn't hit until after she threw, but she was still mostly in that motion. That pass was only, maybe partially affected, even if in the phantom realm, if you will. So as we're going deeper into this drive, Philadelphia's been putting this pressure play in and play out on the Tri-State quarterback, on Sine Williams, and it hasn't gotten any easier.
And if the pressure is effective enough, you keep doing it.
Right.
And eventually something good's going to happen defensively. Again, the spread, 3rd and 15 from midfield. Sine in the shotgun will take it. Rush comes left side this time. The lob, the pass. And I believe they rule it a catch.
That's from Gabriella Cole again.
At the 42-yard line, but they're still about 7 yards shy of a 1st down. And a timeout's going to be called by Tri-State. So we'll stay here. And I would have to say with Tri-State, you're looking probably about a minute and a half till halftime. Remember, official time is kept on the field. I think my assessment is you go for it on 4th down. I mean, Philly's going to get the ball, start the second half, so this is a pretty important play call coming up.
I would really like to see Tri-State take a gamble here. I know that they're an offensive-minded team, a defensive-minded team, but I would really like to see Tri-State go for the gold, go for the marbles, because in a low-scoring game like this, you really don't know when the next opportunity is going to come your way. So I would really like to see them take a chance. Sine Williams, maybe find Haley DeLonzo, get her on a slant. They've only been running one safety on these defensive plays, so I'd really like to see her get that opportunity.
And let's also not forget, too, Philly had a chance to make a huge play and force a turnover, but just fell a slight bit short and end up falling incomplete. So now this is where the Warriors are at right now. I've got 4th and 7 from the 42-yard line. It's going to be very interesting to see how this is actually the 43, so make it 4th and 8. That was a 7-yard pickup on the last play. So here's how they line up. It looks like they're going to go 3 wide slot right. Oh, they're actually going to punt.
Wow.
Nicole Williams standing there at
Snap
45.
slow.
Another low snap, but plenty of room to punt. And a very high pop-up. That's taken nicely. About the 15 yards. She's still going. 30.
Oh, what
still
a block.
Going 40 midfield. Down to the 49-yard line. What a return by Rachel Yerger.
And
probably about 35 yards back to work, kind of like where the line of scrimmage
And
was.
how about Carmen Henson? Right side, picks up a huge block. Again, she's been a part of this Philadelphia Phantoms team since it was founded 12 years ago. I mean, she's playing in her last season here with Philadelphia, and she's putting it all on the line here in her final few games. Gets a huge block. Again, that doesn't really go in the stat books too often, but to assist the runner, to help her, to get her extra yards, it's incredibly admirable of Henson.
Down to special team opponents, Carmen get it.
Yeah.
That was quite a block, and now the Phams are going to start at the Warrior 49-yard line. So basically flipping the field almost like the equivalent of an interception.
I wouldn't be surprised if Philadelphia goes all air here. We haven't seen too many passes from Eleanor Quince. They've mostly kept it on the ground with the likes of Jersey Clark and Paris Banks and the rest of America Dabney as well, Carmen Henson. Wouldn't be surprised if they hand it off to the captain at least once, but maybe a couple balls in the air, try to get that ball down the field and put yourself in the red zone.
Well, how about this setup? A quad left.
Wow.
Empty backfield. Under
It's going to go to somebody over there.
Pass is going to be caught, sleeping past midfield and down to the 41-yard line. And evidently there might be a flag down to 45. So let's see what this is all about. And it's also possible it might be a formation foul. Pass was caught by Paris Banks, but will it count?
Yeah, it's going to be against Philadelphia.
Yeah, because the way the formation was, it was an empty backfield, a quad left, almost like a smashed diamond.
I didn't think they had enough people on the line of scrimmage, did they?
Well, you have to have 7.
Because they only had only one of those 4, if I'm correct, were on the line. And then you have 5 O-line, and I think the other 2 that were on the right. Yeah, I don't think that was right.
That or an illegal shift or motion or something, whatever it is, a 5-yard penalty. So 1st and 15. Now they go with the capital I formation here. Oh, the handoff was mishandled. But it looked like Philly fell on it at the 43-yard line. I think the Phams only have 1 timeout left. They're going to get the ball to start the second half, so I don't know if they're going to be happy with just making a scoreless tie to break, but we'll see because we're in the final minute right now. Ball spot at the 44-yard line. They do not have any receivers, so this is a big O-line. And they decide to go halftime formation and run the clock out.
Not a bad idea. I don't think it was going to be a great idea to get it done anyway.
So both teams will head into the locker room, and the Philly Phantoms and Tri-State Warriors will come away with a with a scoreless tie at halftime. We're just trying to get some equipment all figured out. In just a moment, my son will be interviewing, we'll try and get an interview with Rich for the Tri-State Warriors here, so we can give it a moment here. As far as I'm concerned, this was a very entertaining first half. Obviously, these ladies really went all out here. So we're hoping, though, we're going to try and get an interview. If not, at the end of this half, maybe at the beginning of the second, I will try and get a quick interview here. But needless to say, it's been very competitive, to say the least. But the Warriors have done some good things. The Fams have done some good things, especially on defense. And that's why we have a scoreless tie at the break. All right.
Go ahead out, Abe. Do an interview. Quick interview. Quick interview. At the 50 with him. You're live. Come on. You got a face people will love. All right, here he comes at the 50. Come down. Come down. He's a coach. Yes. It's Abe Montalvo, coach.
All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to send it to my son, Dan. We didn't get Rich, but we got Abe Montalvo, who is with Dan right now at the midfield strike. Go, Dan. Just got to get a microphone, and now we're ready to go.
Yep. You hear? Sure? Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Don't have any audio. Hold on. Check your power. Make sure your power's on that one. Check one, check one, check one. Come get the other one. Come get the other mic.
So we're just switching microphones, and we will get Dan to interview Abe Montalvo in just a second. Here we go. Even though this is working.
Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
I hear you, Dan.
All right, we're good.
All right, here is Dan with Abe.
We're here with assistant coach for Tri-State, Abe Montalvo. Abe, this was a scoreless first half. Tri-State got close, but they weren't able to get into the end zone. What do the Warriors have to do to score in the second half?
We came out a little flat, but it's all right. You know, it happens to every team. But second quarter, everybody's waking up. The motor's starting to kick in, and it's going to be a good game. And this what's it called? The second half will be all right.
It's been a great performance so far for Haley DeValvo. She found her way not only almost into the end zone, but she's been also good on the punting side as well. She's done a little bit of everything. She's had an interception. She's had a couple catches and some tackles. What has her presence meant to you guys in this second game?
A lot. She's a big part of our team. Like, we have Chubbs, we have Eway, Sine, we have a lot of parts, and it's been what's it called, every part and everything she does to this team, it builds us together. She's a big part of our team. You know, she has a beautiful leg. You know, she got great hands. So it's everything she does for this team helps.
And one more for you, Coach. Obviously, this is a defensive-minded team by having LaBryant Robinson, the former NFL defensive end. What is his presence and how this team has kept a 0 on the scoreboard against Philadelphia? That defensive presence, how have you felt the defense has done today?
Not to be a jerk or anything like that, we came out flat. You know what I mean? He's been in the NFL, I understand, but my girls are animals. They're dogs. I got dogs on this defense. So second quarter, you're going to see a whole different Tri-State coming out to play ball.
Thank you, Gabe. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Dan.
Am I good? Am I good to go?
Yes,
okay.
You got me now here, Dan. Thank you very much. So your halftime score to Philly Fams and Tri-State Warriors in a scoreless draw. Let's take a few-minute breather. We got some promo from the WFA starting now. Back in just a few minutes.
Football, America's national obsession. NFL and college football are two of the most popular sports leagues in the United States. But there's another football league you probably have never heard of. And it's dominated by women. Football was closed off to women for decades because it was historically considered a man's game. But today, more women are playing sports in high school and college than ever. And now, they have a place to continue their dreams of playing on a professional level.
It's showing that football can be for everybody. And that's the goal, right? Like, this is a great game.
They've trained like professionals,
We're doing something that a lot of women and men, for that matter, have never ever seen.
compete like professionals,
Do they hit hard is what they really want to know. And my answer to that is yes, we do.
along the way build lifelong friendships, become role models,
It's a story that's been told many, many times in terms of men. And thankfully now it's a sport that's changing a lot of women's lives as well.
Today, women's football players are pioneers. And you have a front row seat.
I'm not normally someone who fights for something, but this has been 11 years in the making. And I just could never understand why people didn't get it, why people kept saying, no, women aren't interested in this. Because I knew that not to be true. But to find somebody who said, yes, yes, that's a magical word. And that's part of when we say, when she wins, we all win. That's real. Women are playing sports around the world. There are sports that we know nothing about here in this country that we don't know women are playing it. We don't know. Women have not really been invited to this party. You look at me and you say, listen, you were never going to play any sport. I say, yes, I know that now. But as a kid, you don't know that. But if no one's offering you or saying this is something that's there for you, you just kind of figure, well, I'm not meant to be doing this. I wanted to play hockey because I'm a big hockey fan. And when I was a kid, even as a young woman, there were no female hockey teams anywhere. People were like, oh no, you women can't do this. I have a 10-year-old great-granddaughter, and she deserves to see herself in any sport that's being played. Fortunately, my brain said, you know, we need an all-women sports network, women's sports around the world, because it's not just American sports. And people, always want to say, no, women are not interested. They are. It's not true when people say women aren't paying attention. We pay attention to everything. We have to. We take our kids to go play sports. We go with our husbands to watch the sports. We want to see us playing these sports too. So when you say there's no interest, it's just not so, y'all. What was the inception? Why? Because it doesn't exist, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that it doesn't exist. We have to have a women's network, because the things that women want to see on television, I know a little bit about television, I'm not like the television maven, but I know the things that women want to see. It took the folks at Django to say, I think this can work. And unless you are in with the guys, nobody really wants to talk to you about sports, anything having to do with sports, because again, so many people have these outdated thought processes about who women are and what they want. Women want everything everybody else wants. That means you men, in case you're not sure. That means we want to go out and have fun. We want to go play tennis, basketball. We want to play hockey. We want to curl. I could be a curler. I would love to be a curler. But there's so many sports that we're involved in, that we're doing and have been doing, that no one has paid attention to. Well, I want to change that, because I want to pay attention. And I feel like if I want to pay attention, there's at least 5 or 6 million other people who want to pay attention as well. We're not playing. We're serious about our sports. We're very serious about what we do. We want our daughters to see how this works. Good sportspersonship is important. How you talk about sportspersonship is also important. Women in sports is a concept whose time has finally come. You know it, and I know it. So why fight it?
Ready. All right, welcome back. Here from North Philly, right outside the Temple University campus. About ready to start the second half of Women's Football Alliance action here on HSG Network on YouTube. And I didn't get an opportunity to tell you, please subscribe to us. We got more things coming, especially over the next few weeks. So make sure you subscribe to HSG Network on YouTube. So completely forgot to do that in the first half. But anyway, I'm Tom Wilkins, along with my son Dan Wilkins, and Howard Gaber taking care of the controls. Getting ready to start the second half of a scoreless game. The Philly Phantoms and the Tri-State Warriors. A very good defensive battle. Philly to get the ball to begin the second half. And the kickoff from 35-yard line, taken at the 25. And running to about the 32-yard line is China Williams, who is able to take it. They're going to say the 36 is where she's tackled, and that is where the Phantoms begin. Pretty funny because the beginning of the game started, it was a 45-yard kickoff, and here is the 35-yard line kickoff. So, what are you going to do?
Well, I'm curious if maybe it would be different for the opening kickoff than it is for the second half. I mean, I'd have to do a little bit more research into the WFA rules, but good way to get field position, though. You know, lining it up right now at the 36, 37-yard line. We talked with Abe Montalvo at the half, the assistant coach for Tri-State, and one of the things that he told us, he said, listen, I don't mean to be a jerk, but he said we came out a little bit flat. These Warriors, after their big win over the Mayhem, last week, this team is hungry, and they want to get off to an even better start.
Well, they did do some good things in the first half. It's just that sometimes the execution wasn't there. Here's a handoff on first down at about 4-yard pickup to about the 40-yard line, so that'll make it 2nd and 6. Good stop on the part of Ishan Alexander.
Yeah, Alexander, how many times are we going to say her name tonight? I mean, as we said, she had 10 tackles last week versus Maine, had an interception, had a pass deflection. She's done a little bit of everything, and now she's getting herself even better into those conversations here in the second half.
And now they're going to line up tempo again. This time, the capital I formation and a receiver on each side. 2nd and 6. Back the pass. And it is, incomplete. Might have been batted down, but that was thrown into a lot of traffic. And that forces a 3rd and 6 coming up. And I think right now the Warriors trying to crank it up a little bit on defense to get the second half. As Dan, you'd mentioned, of course, Ada talked to you about him cranking it up here. And that might be a sign of it.
And, yeah, I kind of said tongue-in-cheek as we've got the HSG drone up top. We said with Coach Montalvo talking about the presence of defensive staff here on this Tri-State Warriors team, LaBrant Robinson, the former Washington defensive end in 1989, he's definitely given his presence on this team because they have stopped Philadelphia at every turn.
3rd and it looks to be about 6 on the 40-yard line. Receiver to the right. Rolling right, trying to get around traffic, nowhere to go. Forced down to 37.
And another 1-2 punch by Diamond Beckford and Kawana Coward that time. Beckford out of Kent State had 5 tackles last week. She started that, and Coward ended up finishing the job.
And I'll tell you what, one thing that's impressive about these Warriors, they have some speed on the outside. They were able to close the door, and the quarterback say, you are not going anywhere. And I think for the Phantoms, they're going to be punting for the very first time.
It's going to be, they're going to send their quarterback back to punt. That's going to be Eleanor Quince.
Just like the days of Danny White and Randall Cunningham once in a while.
That's a good point. Cunningham dropped a couple big legs.
Yeah, 91 yards at Giants Stadium. The wind had got 50 of them.
And Antoinette Wise is going to have this return.
All right, Wise is standing back at about the 32. Quince, the quarterback, stands at her 25. First punt of the day for the Phantoms. And wait a minute, too much time?
No, we've got a false start coming. It's going to come from the left tackle. I thought for a second that Shakira Gray had jumped, but it does look like it's going to be the left guard.
Yeah, you're
That's
correct.
The jersey number,
you are correct. A false start on the Phantoms. I'll back him up a little further.
That's where I saw the movement start from the left tackle, furthest left of the line.
And so it will now be 4th and even longer, but once again, Quince will try and punch. She's standing for their own 20. Gets it. A
Low
low
hanger.
line drive.
Oh, good bounce.
Oh, gets a great Philly bounce. It goes all the way back to the 25, and that is, we got a flag down going to the 40, down to the 43, but I think an illegal block is going to be coming on the return.
I think I saw one as they were coming up. Wise let that ball trail to her left, and she picked it up around the 30. And as she was picking it up, I saw Tri-State come in. They were getting some blocks. I do think something's going to come back here.
Right, there was a flag thrown almost like 2 seconds after she picked the ball up. So it probably would have been better to let the Thams down the ball, and it probably would have had better field position that way. So following the illegal block, we'll see where they spot the ball for the Warriors. Got a very nice crowd here in North Philly today,
yeah.
especially for this Women's Football Alliance matchup.
Listen, one of the things that we talk about when we mention the growth of women's sports is how do you get butts in seats? How do you get people to attend these games? And I can't see it, but I'm told that it's a very packed house upstairs. This is great. I mean, the advancement of women's sports, being able, first of all, how about a couple months ago, Philadelphia announcing that they're getting a WNBA franchise? I think that there's going to be a very strong presence for women's sports, especially in this city. We're already seeing it now. Wouldn't be surprised if Philadelphia gets an NWSL team down the line, because these are really, really promising crowds, even for something like women's tackle football.
Listen, they belong, and they belong in broadcasting. They belong in sports.
Of
I mean,
course.
that's what it really comes down to. All right, so following the illegal block penalty, Tri-State way back at about the 18-yard line, 1st and 10. Sine back to Pasca, have an opening at about the 20-yard line. Let's see if she gets out of a tackle. Does not a high tackle, but it is a 2-yard pickup, forcing a 2nd and 8. So I think what Tri-State's trying to do is try and maybe spread the Philly defense open a little bit with those quick passes.
Yeah, that was Cole on the reception and Taylor, the safety out of Penn Foster and Harrisburg, on the tackle. Was really surprised that she was the one that came in and not a linebacker, because it was a very short reception, but the safety wasn't really playing that far off the ball anyway. So I think that she really just found her way to get the clearest path to tackling the receiver in Cole and minimizing the gains.
That 2-yard pickup, so 2nd and 8, ball at the 20-yard line. Sine at a shotgun. They're going to go spread here. Taking the snap. Going to again throw right and go deep, and it is.
I think that's PI.
Well, there's a flag down. You're right, Dan. At about the 35-yard line, we'll see if pass interference is the call or defensive holding. We will see.
I saw that there was something on the lower body there as Delonzo got hit. I believe that was by Kanaya Solomon.
And you are right, Dan. It is pass interference. So that's going to be an automatic first down for Tri-State. That's one way to get some yards.
Yeah, I mean, I saw it right in front of me. I think that there was some pretty solid contact right there. Pretty standard cutthroat call by the officials. They saw it right away, and they'll get the advantage of it by getting a first down.
So a 16-yard penalty, which will definitely help them. 1st and 10. Quick hit again. Juggled. And I think it was knocked away incomplete.
Yeah, whistles are down. Philly picked it up, but Ransom was the intended receiver. Going back to that play, though, where there was the pass interference, I want to say, how about that composure from Sinai Williams? She wasn't really in the clearest of space. There was some tacklers coming from her left, and she just threw it like she was throwing it around in an empty field. Like, she had so much composure to dime that ball down to, Delonzo, and she didn't look like she was under pressure. She's getting a lot better at recognizing those defensive tempos and those defensive cues and not being fazed by them. And that's game evolution that's going to help you in the long run.
Backlot ball, if you want to call it that.
Right.
I will try it again. 2nd and 10 for the 35-yard line. Sine back to pass rush coming right. Has a lady open, and it is knocked away, incomplete past the midfield stripe.
That was intended for Christine Chubb, who already has 2 catches today, broken up by Paris Banks.
Well, and there's somebody down on the Tri-State about the 29-yard line, just a little shaken up, but she's up and okay now, thankfully.
Yeah, that's Beckford.
So I'll force a 3rd and 10, but I think we're seeing the intensity pick up on both sides here. in a scoreless game here in the third quarter.
I think both teams are now starting to realize that this game is not going to be one that has a lot of scoring. And with that, not only does the intensity pick up, but the stakes, the momentum picks up. Because if you're in a 0-0 game at this point, at this juncture, you're 2 minutes and 15 seconds into the third quarter, into the second half. Every possession that you take is one less that you will get at the end of the game. So right now, these two teams, with how long their possessions have been, we could only see 6 drives until the game is over. We could see 3 on each side. So with a low-scoring game, you are more likely to see these teams realize, hey, if we score on this drive, that might be the deciding factor in this game.
Yeah, and don't forget, too, it could be a scoreless at three-quarter time, and then all of a sudden it ends up 28-21.
Right.
That's
a lot of
today's
things
football.
can change.
All right. 4 receiver set, tripling to left here on 3rd and 10 to 35. Sine with the shotgun will take it. Rush coming left. She's in trouble. Slips out of tackle. Oh, and a pass for a lady that was cutting across. Incomplete. Wise just could not get her paws on the ball. It just slipped through her hands, and just a tough break for Wise. But, you know, it happens. Like I said, it happens to receivers. You catch the ball, and then you run. Sometimes you try and do it too quickly, and that's what happens.
I'm not a huge fan of how Williams threw that ball either. She didn't step into it anyway. I mean, I know that she's not going for a target downfield, but she kind of panicked and then stopped in the middle and threw the ball flat-footed. When you throw the ball flat-footed, it's like in baseball. You're not going to have as accurate of a throw when your body is disconnected in that motion. If she steps forward, if she puts a foot forward in which she's trying to pass that ball, that could mean that it's a lot more accurate. So I think that that's kind of a double fault, if you will. They're going to go back to punt.
Okay, so it looks like Tri-State will be punting. And once again, it's DeLonzo standing somewhere off screen about the 25-yard line. And I don't know what happened there, but a flag went down.
It's going to be on Tri-State.
Well, maybe the officials saw that. Like, no, throw in a flag. We'll do it again.
I think there was some movement. Not on my roster, but number 4 is the returner.
And somebody called timeout, too, I think.
Yeah, Philadelphia's going to the sidelines. So I think Philadelphia called it.
All right, well, it is a false start. You're right. So it'll be 4th and longer. And granted, I'll tell you what, even though it's still early in the third quarter, Phantoms certainly have turned up their defensive pressure, and now we're going to see how the Warriors will punt.
Well, no, it's going to be 1st and 10 after the penalty.
Oh, 1st and 10.
Something happened. Either she dropped the ball or her knee was down.
Oh,
yeah, you know what? I saw the referee in the backfield motion to DeLonzo because she had this look on her face of just she couldn't believe that it happened. The referee motioned that if she dropped the ball, she picked it up on a knee. That's basically
that means the play's dead right there.
Exactly. Yeah, I've seen that happen at the high school level far too many times, and it's a cardinal sin for punters.
So that happened when we lost our feet for a second. Go figure.
But you can't have that happen at this juncture, and right now, Philadelphia is going to be ready to pounce.
Major mental breakdown there. All right, so 2nd down. Here's a handoff, trying to push up the middle and only get to about the 22-yard line. So this is what we got. We got a 3rd and 5, it looks like, from the 22. And the Phams in tremendous position after, as they say, when you have mental mistakes like that, those can come back to get you.
Yeah, these two teams felt like they've been at an impasse the entire game. And right now it feels like Philadelphia's first chance to actually take advantage of a mistake and take the lead.
Well, right now they're going to spot the ball at the 21-yard line. Line of gain is the 16, so 3rd and 5. High formation. They're going to go big here. Calls her own number. Quinn tries to turn the corner. 20. She will have a 1st down to get to the 14-yard line, and the Phantoms enter the red zone.
Eleanor Quince, what a play. Just calling her own number. She beat out everybody else on speed. Just a great play by a great quarterback.
And sometimes you got to make those calls and take those risks in order to lead your team forward, and she did exactly that. She needed 5. She got 7. And now the Fams at 1st and 10 at the Tri-State 14-yard line. Oh, now we have a timeout. Not sure who called it. Why don't we take a break and we'll get it all figured early in the third quarter. Fams and Warriors, no score, but for how much longer? Find out when we come back in a moment.
Congratulations, you can now take courses from the best universities in the world. Harvard? Check. MIT? Check. Berkeley? Check. No need to apply, no need to pay. Only at edX. Computer science and coding? Free. Finance and accounting? Free. Engineering and law? Free. Languages, literature, and more. You name it, edX has it. Learn, learn, learn. Hello new skills. Hello new job. Hello new you. Pick up that smartphone and make it do something smart. Go to edX.org and get going. edX. Sign up for a free course today. edX.org.
All right, back into action after what was a Tri-State timeout. 1st and 10, ball at the 15-yard line. They're going to go inside. No, they're going to throw a pass. And it's caught inside the 10. They faked the up man, or up woman in this case, and the pass ended up being caught to about the 7-yard line. So it's 2nd and 2.
Yeah, that's just a good play. It's a fundamental play. Right up the middle, no doubt about it. Really can't blame yourself there.
Well, this time they're going to go 3 wide slot left, it looks, on a 2nd and 2 from the 7. In a scoreless game here in the third quarter. This has been a hard-hitting matchup for sure. Quinn's under center, in motion. Handoff up the middle, trying to close the gap, and I think closed just enough to prevent the back from getting a first down, maybe a yard to the 6.
That's a really good fake jet sweep right there. That had a lot of us fooled, and I think I saw at least 2 Tri-State players fade off the line, which, again, the whole point of a fake jet sweep is for that deception, for that lane to open. You're trying to go in the middle. You're trying to lead these folks astray, and it's exactly what you just did. You found the lane in the middle. You're able to get something out of it.
Ends up being only a yard gain. Third and a yard. Ball at the 6-yard line. No receivers. This is all basically your T-bone.
I mean, it literally is.
Yeah, as you can see on the HSG drone. She's going to call her own number. She's got the first down and some more to the 3. Quinn's took it herself on a quarterback sneak and forces first and goal from the 3. That's a good play call.
And that's your traditional quarterback sneak. That's not a tush-push of any kind. There was no assistance from the runner or from anybody on the line. They just found themselves all lined up in a row, and Quince, she's a very strong player with an all-star soccer player in Bucks County, found her way to get into that lane and get the first down.
First and goal from the 3. They won without a huddle. Now they're just taking a little bit of time, making sure everyone's in the right place. And now the Fams are going to call a timeout to talk about this first and goal play from the 3-yard line. So let's take a break here in the third quarter, almost halfway through. Still no score between the Warriors and Phantoms. Come back with more in just a moment.
A Nation comes in easy-to-go sticks, and I want to show you how easy they are to make. Rip off the top, pour it in, no mess. Shake it, 1, 2, 3, and this is all ready to drink.
Oh, 97.
All right, we are back following the FAM's timeout. First and goal from the 3. Quinn's lines under center again. T-bone formation. They're going to hand it off, and there's a flag down as the back goes to about the 2. But they're going to call a face mask half the distance of the goal against Tri-State. So that's going to mean first and goal from the 1. So once again, Tri-State, another mental mistake. The kneel down on the punt, and now they're going to reset the down mark and be first and goal for the 1. So it's only a matter of time for the fans to put points on the board. And here they're going to line up 3 wide. Could be another quarterback sneak, we'll see. Quince under center, back behind her from the 1, first and goal. She calls her own number, and she connects into the end zone. The first score of the game. Eleanor Quince decided to keep it herself and connects for 6 points. The Phantoms score first. Took a little bit more than a half, but she did the job, and the Phantoms made sure the Warriors paid for their mistake.
And you're seeing that soccer experience come from Eleanor Quinch right there, the Bucks County All-Star. Found her way to get everybody beat. She was able to beat the defensive line, was able to beat the second line of defense, and really, those are the only people you have to worry about when you're doing a play like that deep in the red zone. Found a way to get into the end zone, and Philadelphia's on the board. First points allowed by Tri-State this season.
Key play was at 3rd and 5 from the 21-yard line, where she was able to do the exact same play. Now, this is probably Michigan. The swinging gate play.
Seen this a handful of times.
Back to pass, throwing, it's caught, and she's in.
How about that? Jersey Clark.
So the conversion is good. And it's a 2-point conversion, which means an 8-0 Phantoms lead. And as you said, Dan, first points allowed by the Warriors all year through 6+ quarters. Dan, what exactly happened with Quince's play? Like I said, that 3rd and 5 play, that was exactly similar to what she ran here.
Well, watch where the right side of the line is. You can see that Tri-State is adding an extra linebacker to that line because, again, you don't have to worry about anybody deep being this close. She fakes the handoff, and watch as she goes. She runs like an end around, more or less, because Tri-State, they got in the way. She went back and then went forward. It was not your very typical sweep. She found her way a couple of yards behind the line of scrimmage and then got into the end zone.
It was
very smart play by
It was actually a little bit wider, Dan, compared to the first time, because it was a little bit more of a flat line.
Right.
Able to get around. So Tri-State was able to close that, but the speed of Quince, she was able to get around that hump, and she was able to get the pay dirt.
First points of the game. Like we said, there's only so many possessions that you can have left. The first few possessions of the game, we only saw 1 possession on each side in the first quarter. There's so much that can happen here at the end of the game that right now we already know that this game's going to be pretty low scoring, but got to see how quickly these teams can, how quickly Tri-State can respond.
And the key is how to respond, and now it's going to be a matter of the Philly defense. And I think it's the pass defense that's got to turn up a notch against Tri-State's pass offense, because they usually do pretty well in the air, but Philly's been able to put pressure on that offensive line, and it's probably that little freshness that they haven't played yet. Now they got to prove themselves. So it's a little possible that maybe Tri-State's a little bit slightly off after getting like 6 quarters under the belt.
Very possible, and we'll have to see whether or not Philadelphia can expand on that, or if Tri-State will be able to rebound.
I guess in the coming minutes we'll soon find out. Kickoff taken to about the 20-yard line. Trying to turn left, cross
Chubb
the
on the
30.
return.
Oh, and it'll go down to about the 46-yard line. That's a pretty good run. A very nice return by China Williams.
Well, Williams had the stop. It was Chubb that was on the return. But very nice indeed, and they'll get this one up to the 40.
I'm sorry, it was China Williams who made the stop, and we're going to show you the replay of that kickoff here. So you see that the kickoff comes, and watch Chubb up person. I got
Takes
the
it on the second
35-yard line. Yeah, so basically the up person there able to get to the 46. So it was a shorter kickoff than expected. I actually thought it went all the way back, but was not the case. And as I said at the beginning of the game, directional kicks And that was one of them.
And that wasn't too sharp of a direction, but it was enough to at least bring it to the second person in line and create some trouble there for Tri-State.
Well, it's also been a bit breezy, too, so the ball's been playing a couple of tricks here as well.
Yeah, it's been a little bit breezy, but it's been hard to tell with us being under this canopy here on the grandstands.
Here's a handoff on 1st and 10, trying to turn the corner and nobody home. A 3-yard loss. And forces a 2nd and 13, as that looked like Nicole Williams had to carry. But I'll tell you what, this Phantom defense, they are really causing havoc for that offensive line for Tri-State.
And now up to 6 defensive tackles for Antonique Evans, the Robert E. Lee High School product out of Philadelphia. She's really found her presence here on the defensive line, and she has been hard to beat all night.
Ends up being a 4-yard loss back to the 41. So 2nd and 14 coming up. 8-0 in favor of the Phantoms. Thanks to Quince's touchdown run and conversion pass. Now Shanae line up in the shotgun here. Actually, no, she's under center. She's got to go triple on the right.
They've done this a lot tonight.
A little bit of a
Trips
condensed
plays.
formation. Taking a snap. One hopper. Taken to about the 45. Slips out and down to about the 48. That was not exactly a play. Well, there's a flag. The question is it a hold or could there have been a face mask put into the play?
It's hard to tell. Williams on the rush. Nicole Williams, that is.
Oh, I see the flag is back at the 39-yard line.
We have to differentiate because we have 3 different Williams on this team. Sine Williams, the quarterback, one of their leading rushers, and Nicole Williams out of Penn State, and then DeJay Williams, number 6, out of Ewing High School in Mercer County.
Well, I was going to say that was not exactly a play that we necessarily designed the one hopper, but it didn't matter because there's a holding foul against Tri-State, and that's going to back them all the way back to the 32-yard line. And remember, they started at their own 45, and they have found themselves going backwards since.
And that's big for Philadelphia. You know, it's big to be able to not only score, but also being able to stand your ground on the defensive side, whether it's through stops or penalties.
2nd and 23. They're going to go inside handoff, slips out one tackle, down to about the 37. So they'll get a few yards back, but 3rd and considerably long. You're looking at 3rd and 18. Any idea what you might be calling here on that play?
Pass. 3rd and 18, pass. Sinai Williams, she had 3 touchdowns last week. There is no reason for her not to pass the ball as we've got a player shaken up.
Okay, yeah, it's a Phantom that is on the ground about the 35-yard line, so you're going to check her out here for a second. So while we have a moment, Dan, obviously you're thinking past 3rd and 18. What would your coaches, if you're on the Phantoms right now, what's your coaching staff telling you?
Well, first of all, I am not all-seeing. I wouldn't know what these 2 teams are going to call, but what I would tell you is I would expect a pass if I'm the Phantoms, and I would put 2 safeties up. I would line up a defensive alignment where you're not really crowding that line because you can afford to give up a handful of yards. You can afford to give up 5, even 10, because you're still on this side of the field. You're nowhere near the end zone right now. You can afford to give a little bit. If you were too worried about lining people up, think about it in let's use a basketball analogy here. When a point guard is going up and 2 guards are meeting each other, if one guard stands at half court and tries to block the point guard from being able to get around him, well, there's an easier chance that he does because there's no space. It's like hitting a brick wall. But if you leave them a little bit of space, it's more time for you to be pressed and to be covered, and it allows the offensive team, or it prevents the offensive team from getting too far ahead. So that's what I would do. I would line up 2 safeties up top, try to cover 3, 4, maybe even do a cover 5. I would just try to, make sure that everybody's ducks are in a row because you've got 2 plays to prepare for a turnover.
Well, that's definitely true. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily go prevent myself, but again, 3rd and 18.
Not prevent, but that would involve 3 safeties. But I would say, 2 safeties up, cover 3 or cover 4, I think would suffice.
All right. Well, luckily the Phantom player, she got up and walked off on her own power, so that's good news there. So here's the situation. Ball's at the 38. It's 3rd and 17. They have to get to the Phantom 45 for the line of gain. Let's see what Tri-State draws up here.
Watch the open receiver on the left. They're going to get somebody on her now. She was
Well, they
open
got
for
a receiver on each side. Let's see how this all plays out. Looks like they only have, they had 6 lined up. 3rd and 17. Sine back to pass. Looking. Fires. Pass is caught. 45. Slips out to midfield. They're still going to be well short of a first down. Maybe to the midfield stripe.
Gabrielle Cole was on the catch. Tackle made by number 18 in Lucky Taylor. That's her 4th tackle of the game.
Comes back on his own when it gets too low on the battery. Stay with it. You're good.
But yeah, as of right now,
Dan, come right down on your head. Right where you dropped it. Here. Well, I don't know if it's going to land in your hand, Dan. You can grab it if you want.
Well, guess what, folks? There was a late flag, and a major face mask has been added to the play. A 15-yard penalty, and that's going to be an automatic first down for the Tri-State Warriors. And that is a turning point because now Tri-State gets a new set of downs at the Phantom 36. That is seriously flipping the field. And a huge mistake by the Phams. Let's see now if the Warriors could capitalize off of this.
did we see what the flag was?
It was a late
Personal?
face mask.
Okay.
At near the end of the play.
Yeah, I did not catch that.
I didn't catch that either. We're more worried about the drone coming down. So 1st and 10 for the 36. Back to pass.
Nobody
and,
there.
Oh, I think there was probably a miscommunication between the receiver and the quarterback. Ends up going incomplete far side. That'll make it 2nd and 10.
Yeah, the closest receiver on that play was Antoinette Wise, and really the closest one on the breakup was Anisha Hargrove, who we've seen many times tonight as well.
I think Sine wanted to go home run, and Wise may not have been able to catch that signal. So I guess a case of miscommunication between quarterback and receiver.
Yeah, a lot of these teams are making mistakes right now. I mean, Philadelphia, they're up top, but that face mask really did hamper their ability to succeed in this drive. And we'll have to see if Tri-State can take advantage of it because they've got 5 minutes left in the 3rd, and these drives have been quite long tonight.
Well, put that in your notebook in case of a game-changing play. 2nd and 10. We got a handoff.
Williams.
Slip into a tackle to the 30. Whoa, thrown down to 25. There is a flag which may bring that play back.
That's why I said Williams to Williams, Sine Williams to Nicole Williams.
That's going to be a tough break on Tri-State because they look like a nice run, but maybe too nice of a run.
Yeah, head ref is talking to the quarterback Williams, or at least was.
And indeed, that's going to be a hold and a 10-yard penalty. Going to give you a nice drone shot coming up.
Look at that.
And a Philly skyline up ahead. Obviously, Philly looking forward to their sports tonight. It's going to be a hectic night down there, that's for sure.
I like to say that Philadelphia is maybe a top 3 skyline in the entire U.S. It's just wonderful. Every time, even back in Jersey, when you're in Camden County, Gloucester County, you can see that skyline from 10 miles away. And it's just always so refreshing every single time you see it to be in a city as great as Philly.
You know, you can actually see part of the skyline when you're on the northeast extension between Lansdale and Quakertown.
Didn't know that.
If you look far enough.
The mountains are high enough?
Yeah, you're kind of up a little higher in elevation there.
There you go.
All right, 2nd and 20 following the holding foul. So they in the shotgun will take it. They're going to try handoff again. Not as much this time, maybe 2 to the 44-yard line, but here we go again. 3rd and 18, as once again it's Blaze who had the, actually no, it's not Blaze, it's Robinson who was able to make the carry. So here's what we got here. They're at the Phantom 45, 3rd and 19. And a very important play here. Remember, Warriors got bailed out on a 3rd and 17 because of a major face mask at the end of that play. We don't know if lightning's going to strike twice here. All right, they break the huddle. They're going to probably go spread. They are. Shotgun formation for Sine.
Now notice she's going to ask for the ball, and the back's going to ask for the ball in case it's like a direct snap. And it's a jet sweep. Turning the corner. Going to the 40. How about this? Hard hit down to about the 32-yard line.
Tori Ransom on that carry.
Got 13 yards. Didn't get the first down, but got into a pretty good position here because now you got a 4th and 6 rather than a 4th and super long.
Well, they make them that much tougher in Penns Grove, I can tell you. I mean, listen, LeVar Scott and all those people down there, I don't know why I'm blanking on the names, Mark Macarone as well. They make them so much tougher in Salem County, and you're seeing that there from Tori Ransom. Got her to be able to lift in and get the hit, get the body, if you will, and now you're setting up 4th and 5 here on the other side of the 50.
Well, they're spotting it at the 30. That was a 15-yard pickup. So you're looking probably 4th and 4. Line of gains is 26. Let's see how they line up again. Little jet sweep, though. That's an easy way to get 15 yards on your passing stats. Again, they go spread. Shotgun formation for Shanae. Big. Wait a minute.
Penalties.
Did somebody move?
Going to be on the offense.
Yes, it will. It's going to be a false start, it looks like. Does not take much. It's like one little flinch, and that's what happens. And so they will back it up, and it's now makes it a whole lot tougher. 4th and 10. Now, my question is, Dan, do you try the same play again going the opposite way?
I would say no. In this game, generally running the same play twice in a row just hasn't worked, and that applies for both teams. Neither defense has really been fooled twice. They say, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. Well, in this case, neither team has been fooled twice, and they really haven't found a way to stifle that.
I'm sure Jiminy Cricket would appreciate that. So here we go with 4th and 10 for the 35-yard line. Again, the spread, back to pass, a little rush coming. Fires right, there's a lady up, and there it is. At the 10, the 5, she's home. Welcome to the end zone. Haley D'Alonzo on 4th and 10. A 35-yard touchdown strike.
Wow.
And the Warriors are on the board. A conversion will level this up.
That was surprising. I mean, first of all, I'm not surprised that they ran it to D'Alonzo or they passed it to D'Alonzo, but that was a perfect play run up there by Rich Harrigan. I think that right now, I mean, that could be the defining play of the game if they can make this conversion. If they don't, then it's another steep hill to climb, but because you'll have to do another possession. But Haley D'Alonzo, she has been an all-around fantastic player for Tri-State. Again, had a receiving touchdown last week versus Maine. Had an interception and a pass deflection versus Maine last week, and she was the punter. She's done everything. And now she's already got an interception today. And now she has a touchdown. In 2 weeks, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns. Nobody can stop Haley D'Alonzo right now.
Unless it's herself.
Right. The only person stopping in this case is yourself, absolutely.
All right, here's the conversion for a tie game here. Shanae making sure she's lining everyone up. It's 3 wide. Sending somebody in motion.
Williams.
Oh, they gave it to Williams. They tried to go up the middle, and the door closed immediately. So the conversion fails, and the Phantoms keep their lead at 8-6. But one thing is for sure, the Warriors certainly have got the momentum now.
And Dominique Williams had to stop that time. Take
All right,
let's say touchdown.
Yeah, here's the touchdown. Well, that wasn't it, but think about what the Warriors had to overcome. A 3rd and 17 with a major penalty tacked on. 3rd and 19 that set up them to get into position for that 4th down throw. And Dan, here it is.
Yeah, here you go. I mean, listen, this is great angle of it by our videographer up top. Is moves to the left side, has to break that one tackle by Gabrielle Huarbe. No, that was Lucky Taylor who was on the tackle. But still, I mean, listen, Haley D'Alonzo, what a game she's had. What a season she's had so far. We're only 2 games in out of 6, and she's already had 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, and she's the punter. I mean, if if Tri-State comes back to win this game, I think she's the player of the game. But if Philadelphia hangs on, she will still be a thorn in the side of this Phantoms organization.
Oh, this thing is far from over.
And listen, these two teams have to play at the end of the month. So
In
they're
4
going to
weeks'
use
time,
this game.
you're right.
Whoever wins this game is going to use it as revenge fuel for next week, later this month, pardon.
All right, so Tri-State, they will kick the ball off here. And now we'll see if the Phams have a response. And considering a bad start to the third quarter, that ill-advised knee on a punt, which eventually led to the Phams' points, the Warriors were able to recover and drive down the field and get points in spite of having to face adversity. Okay, so let's see what the Warriors do as they kick this one off.
There's your direction. Second line.
Taking it at the 30-yard line and down to about the 39, maybe the 40. So at least decent field position for the Phantoms as they begin their next drive, 1st and 10. About 3.5 left in the third quarter, and the Phams with an 8-6 lead. Lights are on here. I'll tell you, why don't we take a look at this replay again and watch this kickoff. This is basically HSG drone view here.
Well, is it basically, or is it so?
And don't worry, the ball never came anywhere near the drone.
Well, if it does, then that should be in the NFL.
You wouldn't want to be watching a drone in 3D and have hits a drone.
What I can tell you is that Rachel Yerger now has 3 kick or punt returns. She's been good.
All right, so here we go, 1st and 10. Ball spot at the 40-yard line. Oh, that was a loose ball at the 39, and Tri-State saying they have it.
Ball came out in front of them.
And it is Tri-State ball.
That was a big play.
That was a missed exchange they may not have seen, but the ball came out, and Tri-State forces a turnover, second forced turnover today, and Tri-State clearly has the momentum right now.
Yeah, and that is just another example of what Tri-State's done to get back into this game. You had that 40-yard reception by DeLonzo. Now you're going to get it even better here with Tri-State getting that momentum back with 3:20 left in the third quarter.
The surprises in life, they say, at Tri-State got a rough start to the third quarter, got bailed out once, and again, we go back to, I think, what might be the turning point of the game, that 3rd and 17, which they got most of the yardage, but then a face mask at the end of the play kept the drive alive and eventually led to their score, and now here we have a turnover, and the Warriors have it back at the Pham 39. Excuse me. Now the officials stop and play for a second.
Picking up something on the field. A loose football.
That happens all the time in these leagues. People are throwing catch along the sidelines, and sometimes there's a bad miss.
A missed catch.
Hey, listen, at least we're not interviewing for the 50-yard line and having the play go in progress. 1st and 10 for the 39. Here's Shanae. Pump faking. Wants the whole thing. Ooh. But I don't think she got enough on that ball, and it was tipped incomplete. I think for Shanae, she counted lucky stars because that was a little bit off.
That ball almost got picked by Eleanor Quince. How about that? Playing both sides of the ball. Was able to get under it, but was unable to make the play. So I'm not sure. I couldn't really tell either on the monitor or up top where who the intended receiver was. Didn't look like there was anybody too close. But Quince was able to break it up on the coverage, and now you've got 2nd and 10.
I didn't think she got enough on the throw.
No, I really think that she kind of underthrew it, and it slipped out of her hand maybe a little bit. So
Possibly.
That's why it ended up being the way it was.
All right, so 2nd and 10 from the 39-yard line. They're going to line 4 receivers. They're going to triple to right. Let's see where the shotgun goes for Shanae. She'll wait the shotgun snap. There it is. Goes back. Rush coming.
Good rush.
Can
Williams.
she get out of it? Will lob it. And almost got a completion out of it. That was more like a play that was intended for Wise, but she just couldn't reach out to it. I think the quarterback being pressured had a lot to do with that throw.
Yeah, that's just another play that really could have gone a little bit differently, but first one was underthrown. This one just kind of slipped out. With a good throw, couldn't combine on the catch, and now we'll see if they can shift the tides here on third down.
Now, don't forget, that's where they started following the turnover that Tri-State was able to force following their score in the ensuing kickoff, one play in. They were going to line that same formation, but Tri-State is unsure, so they're going to call a timeout here, and I think we're going to do the same. With just over 3 minutes left here in the third, Phantoms lead the Warriors 8-6. Come back for this third down right after this. Okay, back to live action here in North Philly. It's 3rd and 10 for the Warriors of the FAM 39-yard line. Shanae in the shotgun will take it. Rush coming from the left. She rolls right. Looks and fires. Pass is incomplete. It would not have been a first down anyway, but the receivers 0 for 3 trying to catch the football.
I think that one was intended for Chubb that time. 89.
Tried to throw in a small window and it didn't work.
Yeah, and she's done that a few times. We got another replay here at WFA.
Yeah, let's take a look here. And you'll notice on the left side they overload the pressure here. And that's where Shanae has to be chased. And watch the lob here. Just
almost triple coverage.
Very close to it. And it was thrown in a spot where she could catch it. She just didn't come up with it. That's all.
Wasn't exactly double coverage, wasn't exactly triple coverage. Let's call it 2.5 coverage.
Hey,
and really, that second linebacker kind of closed in at the very last second.
All right, we're going to try it. 4th and 10 for the 39. They're going to go for it. Shanae in the shotgun. Will take the snap. Throws it. And it didn't matter. Pass was incomplete. So the turnover does not hurt the Philly Phantoms, as they will get back on downs after stopping the Warriors on 4 straight pass attempts.
And Rachel Pastrana almost had that pick, kind of with the guts of Travis Pastrana, if you will. That was a big play. Tried to move it over the middle for the former Harrisburg Hawk, and she ended up getting herself turnover on downs here.
Well, it was the better choice because it would have been a field position issue then.
Right.
So Philly will get the ball back, and they'll get to start all over again for their own 39. About 2.5 left here in the third quarter, and unlike the first half, which went by very quickly, this one has crawled here in the second half, but it's provided a lot of drama, to say the least.
Well, it's crawled for a good reason, and that's because this game has now become competitive. And listen, a game can be uncompetitive and be scoreless, when neither team gets anything going. We talked with their assistant coach, Abe Montalvo, and one of the things that he told us about the Warriors is that they came out flat. This has been the opposite of that. Philadelphia's gotten a touchdown. Tri-State's gotten a touchdown. Now you've got those 2 points. That conversion meant everything, and it really still could be the difference in this game.
Right now it is at 8-6. And now single back here, 3 receivers. 1st and 10. Oh, that was a mess. Ball came out again.
I don't know what happened there.
That might be a broken play of a broken play of a broken play.
Wait. Yeah, ball came out. That is a turnover.
Wow. They're going to rule that another turnover on the Phantoms.
There was so much confusion on this play. I had no idea what had happened out there.
I don't know either. Nobody blew a whistle. So I think what
quarterback fumbled it.
He fumbled the snap, and that's why there was no whistle. And then everyone stood around like, "What's going on?"
Yeah, they had stopped as if there was a whistle, but there never was. And they teach in the lowest levels of football is that you have to play until you hear the whistle. And, of course, sometimes we still see people play after the whistle, but that's besides the point. What we're seeing here is just a lapse in judgment, and that could really change things because Tri-State, again, they're a hungry team. They've had a lot of things go their way, but that last drive wasn't their best. Now you've got a mulligan. This is your chance for redemption.
Big time, because they have now just forced the 3rd turnover of the game for the Phantoms. And usually the turnover battle kind of makes a difference in games. Right now, though, Warriors are down 2 with a new lease on life and 1st and 10 from the 38 of the Phantoms. And they're going to jet sweep this one. Let's see if she can turn the corner. She does, but not for much. Down to about the 37-yard line.
That tackle by Henson on the rush. I couldn't tell who exactly had the rush there, but we've got somebody down.
Yeah, there
right
is on the near sideline. There looks to be a Phantom that's shaken up at about 36.
Yeah, but right now you're on the 14th at Augusta. You know, you're not done yet, but you're trying to figure out how to advance. There's time to fix your mistakes if you have made them, and it's time to, figure your plan out right now. And that's exactly what Tri-State's doing. They had a bad drive, ended up going against them, and one play later they got another opportunity.
Well, they were able to get technically their first completion in 5 tries from that jet sweep. It was only for a yard, but it at least moved the chains maybe about a yard or 2. And that you got to take whatever positive you can at this point, as we have about a 2nd and 8 coming when we resume play. And I know we saw a little while ago the skyline of the city of Philadelphia getting ready for tonight. Phillies are done. They called out sick tonight, but they got the Flyers and Sixers playing at the same time tonight. That should be a lot of fun.
Well, one of the things I told you when we were on the way here is I said, thank goodness that both the Flyers and the Sixers are away. There's your skyline,
You are correct.
Comcast Center Tower and High. The
two towers
well,
to the right, yes.
I'm pretty sure the Comcast Tower is 1776 feet tall, if I'm correct.
No, that would be the Freedom Tower, One World Trade.
I know that there's one tower in Philadelphia that's some historical significance.
One Comcast Center is about 990 feet, and the second one with the Four Seasons Hotel up top is about 1,100 feet. That's where you see that
there's the Ben
chimney
Franklin
smoke at the very
Bridge.
top. Yeah, Ben Franklin Bridge. There you see the top of that second Comcast
Which
tower.
one is the one that has the Ben Franklin statue on top of it? The little Ben Franklin statue?
I thought that was William Penn.
Might be, yeah. William, whatever. Historical Philadelphia figures.
Or hysterical Philadelphia figures.
Still dealing with that injured player on the field.
Yeah, hopefully it's not too serious of a shakeup here.
Yeah.
I mean, while we get here late in the 3rd quarter, what have your thoughts been on this game so far? I mean, it's almost like asking the same question because you've basically been seeing for yourself.
Well, what I can tell you is, first of all, just to kind of break the fourth wall a little bit, I mean, this is my first time watching women's tackle football. I have watched a decent amount of women's flag football or girls flag football because that is becoming a massive sport at the high school level. But this WFA organization's been around for since 2009, and they have paraded themselves very, very well, very, very professionally. This doesn't feel like this is like a random meet, as this player does get up for Philadelphia, and she will walk off the field with assistance. So, but what I can tell you is This is my first time watching women's tackle football. This game has been very competitive, but it's been pretty sportsmanlike as well. These players haven't been getting in each other's faces. They haven't been, threatening each other or whatever. This has been a very sportsmanlike game between these two, and really the only big penalties that we've had have been all procedural. You've had your face masks and your pass interference. These players care about the team. Again, we were talking with the staff over at Philadelphia before the game, and one of the things we mentioned is that they have many players on this team that have been with the program for almost 10 years, if not more now. Jalissa Flagger has been here for 8 years. Carmen Henson for 12. Agent Zero, Dominique Williams for 5. And these players, they take a big investment into this program, into this league, and it's really admirable to see.
Okay, as we get back to live action, it is 2nd and 8, the ball at the 36-yard line. Let's see what Shanae does after both teams got a chance to catch their breath a little bit. She'll take the snap. It's going to be a handoff. Oh, there's a wide open hole. Look at this. Crossing the 30, crossing the 20, heading to the 10, heading home. Welcome to the end zone. From 36 yards out, the Warriors have taken their first lead of the game with a tremendous run. Trying to figure out who that was, Dan.
Tori Ransom. Told you they make them tough in Salem County.
Hey, you're not kidding. Held the Philly defense at Ransom there.
Penns Grove High School product.
And they forced the turn. I'll tell you what, they forced the turnover twice, and the second time got them.
And now makes it 12-8, and after the 8-0 deficit, they come back to take the lead.
And think about this, Dan. The Philly Phantoms' last 2 plays on offense, both turnovers. And the second one got him.
They'll go for the conversion.
You're going to give a shout out.
Well, they're going to kick the extra point first. And on a low line drive, the kick is good. And that, I believe, makes it 13-8. And looks like you got company here all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Well, we are being filmed here. Philadelphia Fearless has joined us here. And I guess filming from their phone here. So crazy shots to you guys. And thanks for watching us. Here we got this broadcast. We got a good game to go with it, too.
Yes, sir. Absolutely great game, man. I take care of you.
How many points the kick is.
Hey, we're doing the best we can. I'm glad you're enjoying it here today. We're doing our best here. Thanks again. All right, 13-8. Tri-State Warriors have come from behind. They were down 8-0, and now on their ensuing drive, let's go back to earlier in the third quarter when on 3rd and 17, they got most of the yardage, but a 15-yard face mask against the Phantoms kept the drive going. That eventually led to points for the Warriors. And then the next 2 offensive plays for the Phantoms have resulted in turnovers. The second one got them in between. The Warriors had 4 pass plays that went incomplete. Phantoms fumbled again. And a big run for a touchdown from 36 yards out. And this is where we are now at 13-8 in favor of the Warriors. Probably that low line drive extra point, Dan.
Remember how I said that this game was going to be low scoring? Seems like it has not been.
I did say, though, 3/4 time could be no scoring. It ends 28-21.
It's going to bounce between them.
It's a live ball. Taking it about the 10-yard line. Let's see what they can make of it. To the 20. And then clipped down about the 24-yard line.
And that was Kanaya Solomon out of Temple that had that return that time, the homegrown product for Philadelphia. And was able to get that one, I believe, up to around, where did you see that ball was? Yeah, look at that crowd. That's a great crowd.
Yeah.
Saturday night football here in the spring.
Yeah, sky shot. Yep, there's a sky shot, of course, of the people here.
Yeah, there's our videographer, Craig, up there.
Yeah, Craig is filming. Of course, we almost got decked by the drone a couple of times.
Yeah,
but
we had somebody with their phone, so
He can do anything with them these days.
It's interesting.
And I'm still justified in ancient with an iPhone X, you know? All right, 1st and 10 now for the Phantoms. Can they run a play without turning the ball over? Handoff, trying to cut the middle. They'll sneak and get some yardage.
Jersey Clark.
Down to about the 28-yard line. So about a 4-yard pickup, but that's at least a start for the Phams. Let's see if they can build on it.
If I'm correct, tackle was made by Michaela Wilson, who had 2 tackles last week versus Maine. Product, a linebacker at Montclair State. Now down to our last 90 seconds of the 3rd quarter. Give or take, remember official time's kept on the field, but the clock on the scoreboard here at the what did you say this field was called? I forget already. I'm saying it's a good point of
memory of the Honorable William Brady Jr.
Yeah,
so
Brady Field.
We're just going to call it Brady Field.
There you go.
No, it's not Tom Brady Field. It's William Brady. 2nd and 6. Back to throw. The it's intercepted at the 30-yard line down to the 29. The robber that time, April Romero, able to snag it. And in the last 4 offensive plays for the Philly Phantoms, they've turned it over thrice. 4 turnovers overall in the game. And the Warriors up 5 and just over a minute left. We'll get the ball back.
April Romeo had 2.5 sacks last week versus Maine. And now she picks up an interception. I wasn't expecting that one to be such a low flyer on the pass, but Romeo was able to come up with it, bring it down. What a play that was by 99.
I think Romero read the play.
Very much so.
And she's in the right position to make that interception. Now all of a sudden, Warriors are in scoring position again at the 29-yard line.
You know, we were talking about women in sports and women's sports in general. Well, today is a good day for women's sports because in the Kentucky Derby, Golden Tempo won, and Sherry Duvall became the first female trainer to win the race in the history of the Kentucky Derby. So
wow.
There's a great anecdote for the history of women's sports right there. That's great.
That really is fantastic. All right, 1st and 10 for the 29. Got a handoff up the middle. Trying to get out one tackle, but nothing doing, no gain on the play.
Yeah, the rush by Deneen Robinson. She's now had 7 rushes on the game. She had 6 last week, but I believe, if I'm correct, that she was more of a 3rd down rusher last week because she had 6 rushes and only 3 yards. So kind of that either goal line product or somebody where you're just needing to get something, a half yard or a yard or 2 to get a 1st down.
Or maybe giving their key rushers a rest leading into the 4th quarter.
Of course. Because we've seen a mix of everything. We've seen, Dejae Williams. We've seen Nicole Williams. We've seen Deneen Robinson. She's gotten some rushing opportunities as well. But this roster only consists of 30 players for the Tri-State Warriors, so you really do have to pick and choose who you use.
Shanae's going to throw one. The pass is tapped incomplete.
Intended for Delonzo.
Delonzo tried to cut in, and the pass was just a little bit off, and good tight coverage there in the final few seconds of the 3rd quarter here.
Yeah, we're going to have unofficially 8 seconds on the clock, give or take. It's going to be interesting to see how they manage here because, remember, the officials keep the time on the field, but you know that it's not much left. And you know that these players will have to formulate a very quick play to try to get them, a handful of yards, send us into the 4th quarter, and set up for an exciting finish.
I think we're going to have an exciting finish, but
no
the fans
doubt.
are going to have to make sure they don't turn the ball over anymore. Well, we got a flag, and we must have missed the flag down.
I think it came in late.
Oh, they're going to get the Phams for unsportsmanlike conduct. That's going to be an automatic 1st down for our Tri-State.
And just as we were talking about, or it was just me going on that, but it was just me talking about the fact that this game was very sportsmanlike, and now we're seeing our first 15-yard automatic marker of the game.
Actually, they didn't. They didn't change the marker, so we're going to say 2nd and about half a yard.
Wonder if the marker didn't change because it could have been offsetting.
That's
if that was the case, then it wouldn't have changed.
All right, Janae will hand this on up, trying to sneak through. Oh, may not have gone to 1st down. Robinson with alone the carry, but that will make us switch sides as we have hit 3-quarter time here in North Philly in what has turned out to be a very entertaining game. After 3, The Tri-State Warriors lead the Philly Phantoms 13-8. Let's take a breather. We'll have the final quarter of this one right after this.
Happy International Women's Month from AWSN. This month and every month, we're celebrating the power, resilience, and brilliance of women in sports. From the pioneers who paved the way to the champions making history today, women's sports are stronger than ever. And you know where to watch it all? Right here on AWSN, the home of live women's sports, because when she wins, we all win.
Okay, we're back here in North Philly as we're about ready to start the final quarter. A pitch out on third down, and looks to be a little misdirection, trying to fake around. And, she loses a couple yards. Nicole Williams goes down to 22-yard line before being brought down by Paris Banks. So she did not get the first down. We got a 4th and short coming up. I'm Tom Wilkins, along with my son Dan Wilkins, and Howard Gaber taking care of the controls. A very entertaining game, to say the least. We were scoreless through halftime. All the points you see here at 13-8 came in the third quarter. And now big play coming up for the Phantom defense, as it's going to be 4th and probably about 3 with the ball spotted at the 22-yard line. The 19 is the line of gain. We'll see if the Warriors can find a play to keep that drive going.
And how about the 39-minute third quarter? I mean, it was a long third quarter, but it was entertaining. I mean, Tri-State, they were down 8-0. Hour and 20? Maybe I miscounted then, but still, it was a long third quarter. And I don't think that it needs to really be introduced that it was very long. But guess what? Philly went up first. Now it's 13 unanswered for Tri-State.
4th and 3 from the 22. Shanae back to pass. Is going to throw. Pass is caught, and she's able to get the first down. And it's Antoinette Wise who comes up with a big 4th down reception, moves the chains to the red zone, and 1st and goal for the Warriors.
That's just a great play. Ran a slant over the middle. I wish that they had done that more, because it really has worked out for them every time that they've run it. And now with Wise, you've got a chance to go up by multiple scores here. They're already up by 5. Been very impressed with how they've run this offense tonight.
Well, considering that was a 14-yard pickup on 4th and 3, now you got goal to go. And the Warriors, they got 4 shots to get to pay dirt and make sure the Phantoms pay again. I mean, if you're looking at the difference of this game, 4 plays and 3 turnovers by the Phantoms on 4 plays. The second one resulting in points. Let's see if the third results in points as well. 1st and goal. Here's Shanae back. Throwing, pass caught, trying to cut inside. Oh, a hard hit down to the 6. So a 2-yard pickup forces 2nd and goal.
And tackle made by Beatrice Glinton out of Glenwood.
I mean, there have been some hard hits in this game, but I'll tell you what, these teams have been battling as we get our HSG drone facing the northern part of the city. Temple University to the left. And, northeast part of the screen, there's a food truck there. I didn't even see that.
Don't tempt me. I'm hungry.
We'll definitely chow that after this one's over. There's no question. All right, so they break huddle, 2nd and goal. Ball to 6-yard line. Warriors by 5 and looking to extend it further. Shanae in a shotgun. 3 receivers. They slot both sides for the far receiver to the right. Shanae is going to do a delayed handoff, slipping out 1 tackle. A flag goes down, pushing all the way down to the 3. Boy, she kept going and going and going, but for what?
I think that was Ransom on the rush, which will be a different play that we really haven't seen tonight.
That's true, but I think it might come back. We'll see.
That flag came in mid-play.
Well, there hasn't been any signal yet from the officials. Usually we have a flag where it wasn't a 10-yard line. You think of the offensive line 90% of the time. You figure it's offensive holding.
And now Tri-State called
yeah,
the timeout.
Tri-State's called
That's their last.
timeout. Well, they want to make sure they score. But we'll take a break here early in the 4th quarter. Warriors lead the Fams 13-8. We'll come back in just a moment. Okay, the Warriors have broke out of the huddle after taking what looks to be their last timeout of this game. They want to make sure they score here. Actually, they disregard the flag, too, because it's 3rd and goal from the 2. It's going to call her a number. The ladies' version of tush push worked. Welcome to the end zone as Shanae pulls through from a 2-yard touchdown run. And Tri-State extends their lead. They disregard the flag that was thrown on 2nd and goal, which allowed that 3rd and goal from the 2, and that's probably why the Warriors took that timeout, and it worked.
Yeah, they just needed to figure out their priorities, and that's exactly what they did. And it's now 19 unanswered points for Tri-State after Philadelphia scored their first 8 in the 3rd quarter. We were curious about when that first touchdown came in the 3rd quarter, whether or not the conversion would come back to bite them. I would say that's a negative right now.
At the moment. I'll be interested to see if they go for that extra point.
I think I would go for 2. But they are going to try to kick. That would make it a 12-point game, still 2 possessions. I mean, it's still 2 possessions no matter what.
It was a low-line drive. Here's a high snap. Let's see with this one. Much better kick, and she got it. First one, was not even a foot above the crossbar when it went over. That one was a little bit better. Still works as a point, and it's 20-8 in favor of Tri-State.
Look at that reflection off the buildings. It's golden hour here in Philadelphia.
Yes, indeed. The sun is setting to the west here in North Philly. Been a little bit of a chilly day, 60 degrees at kickoff. I would go ahead and take a look at the female version of the tush push and Sine Williams. It had 2 backs there, and they just pushed her in, and the rugby scrum was won by the black and red. So 20-8 is the score. And for the Phantoms right now, if they're going to get back in this game, they need to have a flawless drive. Now, according to the clock, it says 11:23 left in regulation. They have 2 timeouts left to use, but they need to be efficient on this next drive. They cannot make any mistakes because remember, the last 14 points the Warriors have scored have come off turnovers, and 3 of the last 4 plays that the Philly Phantoms have had on offense have resulted in turnovers.
Well, and I can say as well that if you're Tri-State, I'm very surprised that they've used up all their 3 timeouts here this early in the half because you still have 11:23 left. I've been very surprised by that decision. However, I don't think that it could hurt them too badly unless that they make some more mistakes on defense and allow Philadelphia to score easily.
Here's a low line drive for a kickoff. Will be taken at about the 18-yard line. She's got to turn right. Now turn the middle of the field, crossing the 30, and lost it again. Chubb and Tri-State recovers. Did I see a flag come down on the near side? Hold on.
It came down at the 35.
If that's on the Phantoms, that is another turnover because you know they'll refuse that penalty.
The ball was returned by Kanaya Solomon, and when it came out, it was picked up by Christine Chubb out of Chowan University.
Well, they're discussing the penalty flag that was thrown before the ball came out.
Yeah, there's a lot of confusion out here right now. Nobody's really sure what's going on.
Now, if the penalty is against the Warriors and the Phantoms catch a major break, if not, that would be 4 turnovers in the second half for this Phantoms team.
And that would be devastating for Philadelphia because they've been working to make their way back. They're looking for their first season of 500 or better since 2021. They won 1 game back in 2024. And they're going to be looking to get back in the swing of things, back in the winning column.
Well, let's keep in mind, Dan, this is a team in transition.
Right.
And I know they've had some hard knocks, and this may be one of those hard knock lessons if the final score turns out the way that it is. I mean, nobody wants to have a half where it's 4 turnovers, 5 overall for the game.
Got a face mask on the defense.
Oh, that is going to change things and wipe out the turnover.
And especially, I would assume that means that the face mask happened before the ball came out.
It did because the flag came out before the ball did.
You're right. It came out maybe like 2 or 3 seconds after Solomon picked it up. No, you're absolutely right.
So it's going to be 15 yards from the spot of the infraction, and the Phantoms catch an absolutely Andre the Giant-like break.
I think if Tri-State had gotten that ball back and if they had scored, that would have been ball game. But for now, Philadelphia still has a fighting chance in this game. Still 11 minutes. Anything can happen.
That's true, and put that in your notebook in regards to game changers here. Now the Phantoms just have to take care of the football and have an efficient drive. Ball spot at their own 46, 1st and 10. Receiver on each side. They're going to go in an up back handoff, pushing.
Got a flag.
And a flag down right at the midfield stripe. Could that be another face mask? Because that was late coming down.
That came in from the far sideline referee.
It's another face mask against the Warriors. So the Warriors are giving the Phantoms a little bit of life here on back-to-back face masks on the kickoff return and now this play. And that's going to put the Phantoms at the Warrior 35, 1st and 10.
And if you're Rich Harrigan or LeBrant Robinson or even Abe Moldova, you would just have to tell these girls to just settle down. This game is not over. This game not only is not out of reach, but it's still a winnable game. It's one where you can come back the other way into that end zone on the left side and win the game.
One
get
play
ahead.
and one play can turn this entire game around, as we have seen twice here in the second half.
Right. What I'm more saying is that if you're Tri-State, you have the lead, but these are big mistakes. And back-to-back 15-yard penalties can be devastating if you don't know how to handle it.
And considering they had a turnover,
right,
which was taken away because of that face mask the first
can take
time.
a lot of wind out of your sails.
Let's see if the Phantoms can take advantage of this. From the 35, 1st and 10. Oh, they're going to go
Triple.
reverse. Trying to go up the middle, not going to be much. They'll get to about the 33-yard line. So a 2-yard pickup. They reversed it. I believe it was Clark who ended up with the football.
Yeah, it was Yerger to Clark with that triple option. Listen, these have been long drives in terms of minutes taken off the clock. Why not pull out a Navy play, right? Or even one of those old Colorado State plays back in the day where they used to run the triple option too, back in the 80s.
Well, sometimes you got to do a little razzle-dazzle and try and get a spark for your team and make sure it works. All right, 2nd and 8 for the 33. A delayed handoff, trying to go a hard hit, and maybe a yard to the 32, but that is about it. And they got Clark again that time. So after 2 very punishing runs, it'll be 3rd down, 3rd and 7. By the way, it was Kawana Coward who made the stop on that last play.
Yeah, she's got 3 now.
We're running under 10 minutes left. Right now it's 9:40 and counting in regulation. Vam's out with a 3rd and it looks like 8 from the 33. Line gain looks to be the 24-yard line, so it could be 3rd and 9. Let's see what happens here. Going spread. Back to pass. They miss a block. Pass is tapped and incomplete. And probably a good thing.
Michaela Wilson tipped that ball with her left hand, and she came so close to bringing it down.
And if she brought it down, it would have been a pick 6. She would have been running all the way to Elkins Park. So now you got 4th and 8. Actually 4th and 9 for the 33. Again, the line gains the 24. So going to be a big call here with not right now the scoreboard says 9:13 left in regulation. Tri-State sideline on for defense. Let's see what happens here. Waiting under center. And now, are they going to call timeout?
She can't reset from when she backs away from the center.
Yeah, Dominique Williams unhappy with the call. I think something's going to go against Philadelphia here, and she's trying to plead her case.
Go down, come down. Come down.
Well, I think you can't reset.
So we're here at 3 hours. No pressure on me now. Make it quick.
Yeah, I think that's what was called there.
It's in the trunk. There's another one in the trunk.
Well, they did back it up. It is a delay of game penalty. And that's a huge penalty against the Phantoms because now you go from 4th and 9 to 4th and 14. So now they're going to have to come up with some sort of play almost along the side.
In the trunk, battery. On the left-hand side.
Almost along the side of what Tri-State has done with some of their plays.
I know.
But it looks like they might be trying to punt.
Dude, that's 9.
Yeah,
And now whistle blow. Hold on. We got another flag.
They sent the quarterback back out to punt in Quince. Seems like she's been doing double tonight.
And too much time again.
Yeah, delay a game, it looks like. That's going to send them back to 4th and 23.
And now a punt is pretty much in the bag here.
Although, if you're going to punt it directionally, you're right now at the 50-yard line. This punter's going to line up around the 45. They're at the 45, so they're going to be on the opposite 45. Where she is right now, she's calling to her sideline. She's trying to get somebody off the field. I think they had too many girls on the field. They had to get somebody off, so now they're up to 11, and she can try to pin this deep. Get the ball out of bounds, pin it inside the red zone.
Let's see if they can do it. It's a pop-up. And it'll be down probably inside the 20.
That got down at the 10.
Close to the
football
10.
on the right
Looks like
side.
the 11. Looks like the 11. So that is where Tri-State will have the ball 1st and 10. But again, disciplinary penalties. Too many players on the field, and a delay of game.
But again, that's what I was talking about, where that delay of game penalty doesn't really hurt you there because you're punting it. You are trying to pin them. Because if you put it in the end zone, a touchback brings you, I'm not sure if in this league if it's to the 20 or the 25, but either way, you don't want to get there. This is a net benefit for everybody on that Phantoms team. And if you're Tri-State, it's a net benefit because now you have the field as your open canvas, and you control the brush. This is your work of art. You've got 9 minutes, just under 9 minutes left. Advance the ball little by little. Try to waste time on the drive. You've got a 2-possession lead. There's really no shame in trying to take as much time off the board as physically possible to box out Philadelphia from taking any chance of getting back in it.
All right, so it'll be 1st and 10. They got 8.5 minutes left. So we'll see what we will see what Tri-State does. And right now, a time-consuming drive might be on the menu here.
We do, Greg. I don't have any other extension cords here. I do. I'm doing the car. Dan, come here. Quickly. Go in the back of the trunk. There's a red extension cord. Bring it up to Craig and have
All right, here's a handoff on the first play. Oh, good play by the Phantom defense, bringing it back down at about the 11-yard line, which was the line of scrimmage. And now whistles blow again. Looks like somebody is down. Probably for the Tri-State Warriors, and they're going to go and see, make sure she's okay.
If you don't want to split her in the back, we can get it for you.
Right now the clock is stopped with 7:49 left of regulation. Just in case you joined us late here on HSG Network on YouTube, make sure you subscribe because we got some more things coming up this summer, and who knows, we might be back soon with some more Women's Football Alliance matchups. And Phantoms and Warriors have put on a pretty good show. We didn't have any points in the first half of this game, but with this injury time out, we can quickly tell you the Phantoms, they got a touchdown from their quarterback, Quince. Sorry, I'm trying to get the...
Yep, got it. Hold on, give me a second. You're in. You got
All right, sorry, we just had to deal with a little technical issue for a second. The Phantom quarterback ended up capturing off of a mental mistake on special teams by the Warriors and led him to a touchdown run and conversion, which gave the Phantoms an 8-0 lead. But the Warriors drove back. They got a big touchdown pass on a 4th down for about 30 yards for a score after really turning point of this game was that 3rd and 17 play in where they got most of the yardage, but then a 15-yard face mask kept the drive going. Tri-State ended up getting the score there. And then 3 of the next 4 plays offensively for the Philly Phantoms, they turned the ball over. The latter two end up resulting in points off the turnovers by the Warriors.
Crap, did we just make that? Doesn't matter. Memory card is open. Close it. Close it.
All right, so as we get back to action, it looks like she was okay. It is 2nd and 10 from the 11-yard line.
Keep saying it's open.
And they're going to hand it off. Oh, there's a big run. Look at this. Going to the 30. The 40 still going. Midfield, there's a flag down. She's going to take it home, but we will see if that play is going to stand nearly 90 yards. However, there's a flag back down at the 30. In fact, there are 2 flags down. And it's coming back. A 90-yard touchdown run nullified on a holding penalty. And the entire Tri-State team's like, what?
Come back. It's going to go back.
With big yards come big penalties.
Well, it's only a 10-yard penalty.
Well, what I'm saying is with big rushes, the higher likelihood that there is that something happened and something gets called.
Or an illegal block.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Now you're out. Now you're out. Stay focused.
Now it's going to be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul because both flags came at about the 30-yard line. We'll see where they spot the football. But that was an 89-yard touchdown that was nullified on that penalty. We'll see where they spot it.
It's a lot of extra steps that'll be coming back. We'll say that.
The officials are like, you probably need them anyway.
I'm not. I'm too worried about everything else.
Just over 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, but this is what we're talking about. The more that this time winds down, you're seeing the opportunity for Philadelphia to come back, shorten and shorten. And even though it was a big loss, still a two-possession game, and when this drive started, there was 11 minutes left. Now you've taken 4 of those away. Just do the math. It's good football.
All right, well, here's what happened. Now, the bad news is an 89-yard touchdown's off the boards. The good news for Tri-State, they got a first down. The holding penalty was at the 33, so it's 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So they moved the chains, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Warriors at their own 23-yard line. The clock runs under 7 minutes till time. They're going to send 2 receivers to the right here. Wouldn't be surprised they tried running again, but right now the Warriors are in control of this game and trying to melt some time off here. And another handoff. There's another hole crossing the 30 and down to about the 33. That might be the line of game there. We'll see where they spot the football.
Nicole Williams, she's been a workhorse tonight. I would really like to see. I mean, she had 5 rushes and 29 yards last week for the Penn State product versus Maine. Would be very intrigued to check that WFA website tomorrow and see how many she had in the book.
Well, there's going to be a lot of people looking at this game saying, okay, who did what, who did this, who did that. Going to be a lot of columns filled for sure after this game.
And that really is a testament to the effort of Tri-State as a whole, is that they're playing a home game in the other team's road city, if you will. And it's really intriguing because normally their home field is in New Brunswick, New Jersey, combining Pennsylvania, New York, and New Jersey. That's why they're called Tri-State, and it's intriguing to see how these guys have operated.
That was a 10-yard gain, so it was good enough for a first down. Clock running under 5.5 minutes. Then the play's blown dead.
Got a flag.
Yeah, they blew the play dead.
I don't know what happened to the other one. That's a good question because that one, Jesus.
That's going to be a 5-yard penalty, I think. So they'll call a false start. It'll be 1st and 15 for the 28-yard line.
And now you're under, although the clock is running. So pretty sure, again, the officials have the better time on the field, but the testament still stands that the clock has been running long enough that it has definitely taken a lot of the wind and a lot of the momentum, if any was left, out of the sails of Philadelphia.
All right, they're going to break out. I'm surprised if the fans make a good stop. I wouldn't be surprised they try calling timeout here. They have 2 remaining. Warriors are out of timeouts, but at this point they're up 12, so they're probably not worried about it. Shanae in the shotgun, but I don't think she's worried about passing right now. It's a handoff, and then a cut up the middle will get the penalty yards back, and then maybe one more to the 34-yard line. So a 9-yard pickup. The way it's looking, you're going to have 4 minutes still time. And as we said before, official time's kept on the field, so we'll let you know if any adjustments are. And I think there's also a flag down.
We have another?
Yeah, the way it looks, because I thought somebody was bringing a flag back to the official.
I know there's also one player that has a yellow glove, and that's thrown me off on the Warriors side. Made me mistake it for a flag at least once tonight.
Happens a lot. This is why you need different colored gloves and not confused with the flag color.
Right.
It's probably in your bag.
But it turns out there is no penalty.
White one up there?
It is a 6-yard pickup, 2nd and 9
The 25-foot one?
from the 34-yard line.
knows I had 2, thank God. Or we would have been screwed. We would have been daisy chaining 3 of them together.
You got a receiver on each side, but I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's going to be a pass.
The other black ones.
Waiting.
She's in trouble.
She's going to lob it, and the pass is caught midfield to the 40 and might have gotten close to a first down. I'm wondering if that was the fullback.
Sine Williams was in a heck of a lot of trouble. She was wrapped up. It's a first down. Williams was in a lot of trouble, and as she was getting hit, I think that was Dominique Williams, who's been this defensive presence on that defensive side for Philadelphia, was able to make that pass forward. I cannot believe that that ball was caught. Not for the technical ability, but for the fact that the principle of that ball probably should have been a sack, but she was able to get out of it. That is great skill by the Warriors.
Great awareness, too.
Yes.
And it ends up being a first down as we're down to 2:10 and counting.
Sine Williams had 3 passing touchdowns versus Maine last week. Intrigued to see how she's going to approach this year.
Well, I definitely would run here. All right, flag down again, but we're under 2 minutes. So I think that might be the 2-minute timeout. I don't know.
Well, we didn't. It was a delay of game. We didn't have a 2-minute timeout in the first half, so I didn't think there would be any reason that we would have one in the second. But what I can tell you is for Tri-State, they're going to have a long road trip next week. They're going to be on the road at Carolina, and then their next game after that, after 2 weeks off, they play Philadelphia on May 30th. I'd be at this field, I would be very intrigued to see how that game goes, because for Tri-State, first of all, for both of these teams, they will have already played once. They have played each other. And second of all, when Tri-State meets Philadelphia again, it'll be coming off of 2 bye weeks. Very intrigued to see how that game works out.
Well, I'll tell you, that's just only part 1, and we may not be able to do part 2, but I'll tell you what, it's going to be intriguing no matter what happens. In the shotgun is Shanae. I don't expect her to even
Flipped
run.
it forward.
Again, another jet sweep pass. Crossing 45. Now, the only mistake here is she went out of bounds at the 48-yard line.
That was Lily Anderson on the rush. We haven't seen her on the offensive side at all today. She had 8 tackles last week versus Maine for the product of Lansdale, Pennsylvania. And yes, she did go out of bounds, but that's still positive yardage as we're running out of time here.
Yeah, we're in the final minute. So at this juncture, one more play, and that'll likely be it here at 8 o'clock in the p.m.
It's been a wonderful game today, I'll tell you that. Listen to this crowd.
Yeah, we're on the home sideline for Tri-State. Shanae will line the troops up probably for one more play. Fans have decided to not even use their timeouts. Handoff's going too close to the midfield stripe. And it does not look like the Phantoms are going to stop the clock. And Tri-State is going to go 2-0 on the season with a come from behind 20-8 victory. So they're going to run the clock to 0, and that will be that. What a game, folks. The Tri-State Warriors winners over the Philly Phantoms by a final score of 20-8. I think we're going to have an interview coming up in just a couple of minutes here.
Yeah. Yep.
Really a tremendous game. But again, the 4 turnovers committed by the Phantoms, 3 in 4 plays in the second half was what did them in and turned out to be the difference in the game. Give the Tri-State Warriors credit for coming back the way they did.
Drone's going to land. Drone's going to land over here. Right on top of these people. No, you're Tom. You're just telling Tom. So should be coming down.
It's on its way.
It's a quick interview. Thank you.
Well, both teams now are shaking hands after a very hard-fought game. And really a tremendous game. Very entertaining. Very clean game. A lot of penalties, but I'll tell you what, a lot of drama to go with it. But kudos to all the players today for playing their best. And for the Philly Phantoms, their first game of the year, a team in transition, they really left it on the line there, and they managed to put on a good showing. But the experience of the Tri-State Warriors was the difference here, as 20 unanswered points in the second half ended things, and they win by a score of 20-8. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to get an interview in just a couple minutes. We're waiting for one of the players from Tri-State. I think Shanae Williams will be the one to be interviewed. We don't know. My son is going to try and wave Shanae down. We'll get a member of the winning team in just a moment here. So, and I just want to also say to everybody, my apologies for my voice not really holding up too well today. I've been dealing with a sinus infection the last couple of days, but kudos to Howard, kudos to my son Dan, who really did a good job with everything today, and try to give my voice a little bit of a breather. Okay, it looks like Dan is a moment away from interviewing Shanae. And we're going to go ahead and get the interview at the midfield stripe. Okay. All right, so let's go down to Dan where our post-game is Shanae Williams. All right, Dan, now he's got Shanae, and here we go.
We're here in North Philadelphia with our player of the game, Shanae Williams, quarterback for Tri-State. Great game for you guys, 20-8 win. You guys are now 2-0. How did you feel out there?
No.
Oh, Jesus.
Minor technical difficulty. I think this is the first time we've done this, to be quite honest.
I grabbed the wrong one.
Talking to this one.
I can't hear. Can you hear?
Let me try.
Check, 1, 2.
Wow.
Check.
Yeah, I hear it. All
right, good. We're going to act like that didn't happen.
Let's try this again. Let's go down to Dan.
You're good. Philadelphia HSG Player Network. Shanae Williams, great win for Tri-State. You guys are now 2-0 on the season. How did you feel out there today?
It felt good. It felt real good to be back in Philly playing against in front of my home field, my home team. We played great. Offense played well. Defense played excellent. Even special teams came in and they did really well. So all around great effort for Tri-State.
For you, Shanae, one of the things I noticed about your game was that you were very effective at getting out of the pass rush. Philadelphia had a very tough defensive line, and you were really able to avoid getting sacked and handing it off or pitching it forward. What does that mean to you to have such a team that is able to get around that? You got a strong offensive line in front of you, and this is now your second win of the year, so it seems like that's a proven fact at this point.
For sure. So nothing starts without the offensive line. As you can see, I had plenty of time to do what I wanted out there. They were protecting me like it was their job. Even the broken plays, they still were keep pushing. So the offensive line came up big for us. So when they're coming up big, it's easy for us to make good plays.
And Shanae, one more for you. Next week, you guys play at Carolina, and then after 2 bye weeks, you host Philadelphia again in week 4. So this is going to be another test, and when you face Philadelphia again, you'll be coming off of 2 bye weeks. How does this win prepare you for the road ahead and for Tri-State?
It prepares us because give us something to look forward to, something to look back at, to fix our mistakes. Not really worry about the opponents, but to see how we can get better. And now that we have had 2 games on us, we have two films to look at. So after we come back from Game 3, we'll have 3 films to look at. We'll be able to put all that together to prepare for Philly again.
Shanae, thank you very much. Congratulations. Thank you very much, everybody, at HSG Network. Tom Wilkins, Dan Wilkins, Howard Gaber on the controls. I'm Dan Wilkins, our player of the game, Shanae Williams. We'll see you next time. Have a good one, folks, from Northeast Philadelphia. Final score, Tri-State 20.